Well, we're live. Man, it's been so long since I've done the casting myself. It's like I actually have to talk and do things now. We've got Select Few versus Ohana, and they're already off to the start because I'm slow at my job. I am Wonderland, and I'm here with the amazing Bannable Harka.
Hello.
Looks like I need to pop this out so I can look at the same time. We've got Sapphire something versus Amethyst something.
So we've got Blue Steel. It's like a hybrid between No Wheel and Wheel. He's got Riplungs as two A Whole New World in his deck versus
Oh,
Ruby Amethyst on the side of Matthew Logan.
the Hannah Montana list.
The Hannah Montana list, yes. The best of both worlds.
Is that a Disney or Nickelodeon show?
Uh, I'm just slightly too old to be able to answer that question.
Yeah. Um, maybe
2 years
maybe
younger, I'd
Katie in the
probably get that.
background will unmute and tell us. She'll educate us and then go back.
Well, Riplux is a Calhoun, which should prevent these Chernbox followers from questing too aggressively.
Yeah, it's gonna cause those Chernobygs to have to pop themselves,
Yeah.
and that's a good notice to mute my phone.
Shame on you.
Like went off as I was muting it. Calhoun is so good. I can't remember who it was or where it was said, but someone was just talking about how this format is way more about challenging. It is like a crab
It
format.
is.
Like,
It's Yeah, the curves have gotten way lower. I think like a lot of the lower cost parts of the curve have gotten much more filled in for a lot of the colors. So I think that people have just moved to lower curves. Curving out tends to be much more important, and something like Calhoun, obviously, very very strong against a pile of Diablos, Brooms, Chernobog's followers. I mean, T-pos are everywhere. Very good against
oh yeah,
DE. Yeah, Riplunk's content to just sort of sit back and set up. If Logan doesn't do anything, then he'll get a singer in place, sing A Whole New World maybe, and win that way. Otherwise, he can play a little defensively and grind out. As far as Matthew's deck, he's got some spicy stuff here. There's one Maui's Fishhook, which I actually kind of like. He's up to four Rush Maui, one Maui's Fishhook, which is good for taking out the McDuck Manors that have become
oh
much more
yeah.
popular lately.
Oh, those manners are everywhere. You need some sort of answer for them, and it's like
For
Hideaway or
sure.
Fishhook.
Yeah. Maui, decent, but being able to put the Fishhook in play means that any Maui can take out any McDuck Manor, which is nice. You don't have to worry about getting swept down to nothing and then having to commit multiple threats into another B prep. Matthew also playing a one of Dragonfire, which I also like against Maui Half Shark. Of course, not going to be super relevant here, but
Do you like it over a B prep? I don't know if it's over a B prep in this list, but I know some people have doing 3 B preps and then
I've been playing a lot of Ruby Amethyst, and my list is just distinctly different from what other people are doing at this point. I had already cut down to 2B preps a while ago, so my opinion is a little bit weird. I like Dragonfire over B prep. I like it over Tremaine. I like it over Medusa. I think you just need to play stuff that removes Half Shark.
I just
And
realized I did not change the stream title. So the stream title is still just like birthday stream.
wow. I mean, is this still your birthday? Happy birthday.
It is still technically my
Well,
birthday.
it's still a birthday stream then.
But it's
Both
also
players are
the
drawing a million cards, taking their time. This Calhoun prevents these rabbits from doing much. I do think this game, the way this game is playing out, definitely favors Riplongs having. Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of pressure. 2 McDuck Manors. And these rabbits are just not very good at removing, well, much of anything, quite frankly. I don't. Logan's going to need a miracle here to get out of this one. It's probably going to take like multiple Mauis and or crabs.
Oh, I can't wait for my wife to show up with Chinese food. I'm so hungry. Man, so many McDuck Manners.
Yep. Yep. Two's a lot. Two's a lot when you're already behind on board, especially.
What was my order? I'm pretty basic. I just like sugar meat. So I got General Tso's chicken and some fried rice and some crab rangoons. And sadly, although I do like this place, it's like the only place in town that has gluten-free options. So it's the only Chinese place we eat if my wife is eating us since she's gluten-free. And oh no. Did I really just misclick that? Mm. We don't need to see it. We don't need to see it. I was trying to tell them, like, we can see your hand.
2 rabbits straight into Calhoun, which is not good, quite frankly.
This is why we cannot have nice things. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like if there was a Maui, we'd have seen Maui plus 2 rabbits into a McDuck.
See, the stream blinked for a second and a bunch of characters went away. I don't know what happened, but
I know what happened and it wasn't good for Matthew.
I see a brawl. I still see 2 McDuck Manners. So this is still
2
rough.
rabbits traded for Calhoun, a brawl traded for a Flaversham. But yeah, there's still 2 McDuck Manners, and they have no damage marked. And Riplongs can start questing with the Smee, and there's just too much pressure here, I think.
I don't know why that was a smiley, sad face, but it's just supposed to be sad face.
Second Flaversham comes down, another draw engine in play. Just
Pretty
one
good
more
card.
thing Matthew somehow has to find an answer to. Yes, it is a pretty good card. I believe you said some stuff on Twitter banning the card, or maybe unbanning Bucky. I'm not really sure what you were trying to say.
I may have just lost to my opponent, like flavershamming me, and man, my cheek just started to twitch. The stress, it's too much. It just draws so many cards.
Yeah,
Like people like ban Diablo. It's like Diablo is only good because Flaversham's good, right? Like, I mean, he also sings songs on turn 2.
Someone clip that.
Diablo did nothing wrong.
How about
Diablo's pretty good.
How about Diablo is good because it's a 1 ink draw engine. You can get active on turn 2, sing songs, has evasive, and sort of wins games on its own.
I mean, I would be perfectly fine and happy with nerfing Diablo to losing evasive. Just take evasive away. Everything else is fine. Like another 1-cost Cinderella style character is actually kind of nice. I do think it's something that might be needed. I could be wrong.
Well, Matthew plays a goat and a fish hook does 3 damage to 1 McDuck Manor, but it is looking to be a little bit too late here, I think.
Yeah.
Riplongs is going up to 18 this turn, which means he's going to have to clear basically everything.
The hook did everything. But back onto the important Diablo discussion instead of this thrilling gameplay of McDuck beatdown. I think if they also nerfed Flaversham to only draw 1 card. Or make him a 1/1.
I do believe Flaversham's the best card in the game right now. But I don't think that
I agree.
I don't think that it's that It's not as bad as Diablo in my, or as bad as Bucky was in my opinion.
All
Bucky
right.
is Ward.
I think had people realize if more people realized that red blue was as good as it was when Bucky was dominating, I think Bucky would have been a perfectly reasonable part of the metagame. I think it just loses to red blue so hard that it's not even a reasonable choice. Like had people realized that red blue or that ruby
All
sapphire
right,
was
so
so
Matthew
good.
scoops up game one. Yeah, that double McDuck mana turn was really really big.
All
I
right,
don't know.
first one to rip lungs.
Yeah, Diablo's very good. Flowerstone was very good. There's other good cards, but um, at least they don't have Ward. That's how I feel.
Flaversham losing his play effect, I think would also make him a much more reasonable card. I would agree.
I think
Um,
Flowerstone losing his play effect is, yeah, it's pretty bad.
he's still better than Sisu. He would still be better than four
That's
cost
true.
legendary Sisu.
Of course, that's true, but
It's not every day a precon rare is just strictly better than a quote unquote chase card from a set.
I do think that it's shocking how often um, Tala is better on turn 3 than Flaversham. In fact, I think in most matchups Tala is better on 3 than Flaversham because you just want to play to the board early. It's in the late game where Flaversham's like absurdly
Flaversham
powerful.
can be pretty good on three. I don't know. Braden
Can.
responded to my tweet being like, I'm more worried about uh, Tala. And I'm like,
I
I
think
mean,
Tala's better in most matchups. On 3, I think later Flaversham is much better.
I think
But
it's even, it's like, I would be fine with my opponents playing that instead.
it depends what deck you're playing for sure. But against
Like, even when I play the beatdown decks that, like, don't care about, quote unquote, don't care about Flaversham, right? It's like, I
I
can
think
answer three threes.
against Ruby Amethyst, Tala on 3 is like miles ahead of Flaversham on 3.
What a terrible
Probably,
take. Which take did I have that's terrible? I have a few of them.
probably most of them, honestly.
Oh, Remy once ripped to lose because he taps to the left.
Has anyone heard from Zephyr at all? I have not spoken to Zephyr recently. He's probably out living his best life in Vegas. Wish him the best
Last
in the
time
world.
I chatted with Zepho was in Vegas at the
Same.
DLC,
Yeah.
and that was a very pleasant time. I do miss him. I think a lot of people miss him, but he likes to. He's like me. He likes to hyper focus. Likes to jam games, right? And he had poker, and I didn't. So once his digital client was taken away that he could jam on all the time, he moved to a different digital client that he could jam all the time. Um, I'm pretty sure that when we're gonna say when instead of if because come on now, when Lorcana has an official digital client, I'm sure Zephyr will be right back in the game. I hope so.
Yeah, we all miss him. He was good fun.
Thanks for the sub. Down with Diablo, he says as
You're
he
welcome.
subs.
Yeah. Yeah, Diablo, very good, very good.
I don't think I will be at Mana Games tomorrow because they are sold out. Sky and I looked at it and it was 28 of 26 people already. So I will have to travel to go to a set champs in Omaha.
All right, well, we're off to the races on
Broom.
game 2 here.
Broom
It's gonna
into
Broom and
hook.
play Broom into the old Flynn frenemy. A good card. Yeah, I'm curious what. I'll pull up the deck list here real quick. Yeah, pretty easy, I think, for Rip Lungs to shut off, unless you can follow it up with specifically a Sisu. But we'll see.
Secrets, secrets,
Yeah.
secrets.
All right, so Matthew has followed up his Flynn with a CC, which is good. That definitely puts pressure on Riplungs to try to shut it off. But just playing a Fishbone Quill, it's actually kind of nice to see Fishbone and Quill in play. You know, I started to miss it there for a while, but that does mean that Flynn's going to be getting a bunch of lore here. And the Goat is a nice play. I like where Matthew's at this game.
This is interesting. Would you quest there? Okay, they are going to quest. I was like, I think I quest here, even knowing that I'm going to lose it, and they're going to develop a Tinkerbell, right? Or worst case scenario, they develop a swords, because then we also lose our Flynn, right?
I don't actually. So if you're like shutting off, I think Tinkerbell's actually worse here. If you're shutting off the Flynn, it's actually not that good of a card anymore. We're kind of past that part of the game. So I think that I would rather my opponent played Grab Your Sword than a Tink here.
Oof. What about that? Tinkerbell to the...
That's a pretty good one, too.
Yeah, but now you can't get rid of the Sisu. It's like, yeah, I think both plays shut off Flynn.
Yeah, I think, are you saying, like, shoot Sisu, challenge Sisu? I like that play. That might actually be better.
That, or... Yeah, I was thinking maybe just play Tinkerbell, but I think, yeah, that's right. Like, I think that does what I was thinking the same way. And now, I bet that last card is a whole new world or something like that, because he really needed...
We'll find out. I mean, at the very least... Oh, he just gives up.
Right. Tinkerbell. Yeah. Play the Tinkerbell, I guess.
I don't think if that... Anything.
You don't... Would you still have played... Well, all right. He needed to take out the Sisu. I think leaving the Flynn there is okay. Maybe. I guess he gets punished either way. Like, because of Dragonfire. Yes. So the secret out was not inking, keeping the Simba, playing Tinkerbell, trading the hook with the Sisu, and then next turn inking whatever's in your hand with the Fishbone and playing the Simba, and that plays around Fishbone.
That is secretly the best play, yes, for sure.
But I think so.
Let's be honest here, though. There's no chance that Riplungs thought Matthew had a Dragonfire in his deck. He played around Tremaine, and I think that's probably what he was worried about. The Dragonfire, I'm sure, caught him off guard.
I think I'd have to be like... It would have been like set 1. Like, myself in set 1 for me to play around Dragonfire. Not because Dragonfire was played, but I had played, like, almost 1,000 games in that shorter period of time, and I was I was playing around every single card in the game, and like I was on the top of my game, right? Like, then maybe I'd been like, what if they have Dragonfire? Maybe I should do this play. It's the same thing and it doesn't hurt me. So maybe I would have done that. But otherwise, like, yeah, I'm gonna just probably take out the Sisu and play my big thing and try to play towards the whole new world that was most likely in his hand.
I suspect Riplungs was trying to play around the Lady Tremaine and got absolutely hosed by the Dragonfire.
Remy, I would actually not say I was at the top of my game in Seattle.
I had say he was not at the top of his game in Seattle.
Have you watched my gameplay? The deck was just busted, and I knew how to play it. Like,
we were having a good time
JDZ, how's your travel?
There were a couple times where you did something, we all kind of just looked at each other and then just kind of shrugged our shoulders. Like,
hey, I swear there's a Cinderella Stout-Hearted in that man's deck list. I swear I saw it when we looked at the deck lists. But what probably happened is I was like, oh, no Start-Hearted. And then we play, and my brain's like, Cinderella, play around that. Don't get blown out by that. And it's like, the only way I lose is a Shift Cindy. So I played around the card that wasn't in the deck.
In an open deck list format, just to be clear. I got no problem with playing around Cindy if you don't know what's in your opponent's deck. That seems wild.
Yeah, but the fact I did know that it, like...
Well, we know that you didn't know. It's just that you should have known.
Yeah. Well, I thought I knew.
All right, going to game
Oh.
3. Riplung should be on the play. 1-1. Riplung's on a hybrid blue steel 2-wheel list. Matthew playing a more classic Ruby Amethyst. No genies. I think genies have kind of fallen out of favor in these Ruby Amethyst lists, but if you're wondering, there are no genies.
Well, as Ed has said countless times, it's really bad against Ruby Sapphire.
It is bad against Ruby Sapphire. It's kind of good everywhere else. Well, not everywhere else. It's kind of bad against Steel Song too sometimes. It's kind of good against like all the purple mirrors. So
In
yeah,
the
you gotta make
in
your
the
choices.
Amethyst list, it's actually good against Emerald Steel. It's like not bad
Yep.
there. But against traditional Steel Song, yeah, if they're playing Zeus's, yawn. Like, okay, draw your card. I'll just exert my Vanessa and answer your thing and then continue on with my way.
It's interesting what 4-drops you choose to play.
The way you said that was just like directed towards me, not the royal you, but like
No,
the
not
four
you.
drops I decide to play.
We both know you're not jamming any genies anytime soon.
I played Amethyst Steel and I played 3 genies in it and no rabbits. And that was my most expensive card was the 3 genies and 4 goats.
Off to a bit of a
2
slower
ink
start this
versus
time.
4. Fishbone Quill is a heck of a card. I mean, it's technically versus 3, but
Yeah, Amethyst does have too many good 4-drops. It's funny how some inks have really, really strong spots on the curve and then just like gaping holes in other places. But yeah, Amethyst has a ton of 1s, a ton of 4s. The 2s,
Steel
you're like,
now has
I guess I'm playing Snake and nothing else.
Steel has a bunch of 2s now. I mean, Doc is
Steel
like
does.
secretly a 4-drop, but like
Or 6
all right,
drop,
okay.
or 8 drop.
For those who play Magic, Doc is Sarah Avenger.
I don't like that analogy, but I see what you're saying. It does a very different thing.
On the chart, it's like it's the weird ones where it's like technically it's part of it, but way different. I do not like it, but I understand.
It's like Sarah Avenger in that you don't play it on turn 2. It's not like Sarah Avenger in literally any other way.
It's a 2-drop that you play on turn 4. I don't like it and I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's not worth understanding, quite frankly.
I kind of wish they had used that design space more. Ooh, a brawl on Flaversham. Get it out of here. The only ink that has answers to Flaversham in any reasonable way.
Amethyst got some stuff. Like Crab's pretty good. You do have to let it draw 4 first, though, which is. I mean, it's not where you want to be, but it's fine.
There's a new Jace that can be played on 3 turns. Interesting.
Yeah, now that Riplung's has had so much time to set up, Matthew hasn't built the dominant board position, doesn't have a ton of lore. I do like Riplung's spot, especially if he's got like a wheel that he can.
He had
Broadcast
more
or something.
stuff in play though when he kind of gained control in game 1, right?
Yeah. I just Riplung's deck just feels better in the late game. It's another
That-
flower show.
Dirty rat.
I mean, Fishbone's done its job at this point, so it makes sense. He could tinker.
It's like absurd that a
Right.
4-cost 1/6 that only draws 2 cards would upset me so much.
I mean, it doesn't only draw 2 cards. It's It's a 4-drop 1/6 that draws 2 cards and threatens to draw an infinite number more if you don't answer it soon.
Flaversham is basically one of a few cards that if you do not answer them, every turn you don't answer them, you get farther and farther away from winning. Obviously, that's every card in the game. It's like John Madden saying you win the game by whoever scores the most points. Like, yeah, obviously, the longer a card's in play, it's normally better. But like, it's like Diablo and Flaversham. I know there's at least one other card, right? That like if you don't like, I guess Dime in a manner of speaking. Like if you don't answer
cards,
but that are so dramatic that it's so hard to come back from. I guess Flaversham and Diablo, the card advantage is just insane.
Yeah, in terms of card advantage, they're probably the big ones. I mean, Rabbit can be the same way, but it's a little slower.
Yes, yeah,
it does
I would
feel
agree.
brutal,
Rabbit
though, when your opponent's
package.
like, Rabbit, Fox it back to my hand, challenge down your guy, and it's like now you've drawn 2 cards, you're up a Fox on the board, and you still have the freaking Rabbit in your hand. But it's much slower for sure because you have to spend the ink every turn.
John Madden's dead?
Thomas Toa.
How did I not know that Madden died?
Yeah.
I only remember him really from like
Tonto's crazy right here.
The Sega Genesis games.
I do think removing even a single willpower from Flaversham and letting Zeus Bolt get it opens another ink up to having a good card that answers it. Because part of the problem is that you don't want to put bad cards in your deck to answer Flaversham. So you kind of want answers to be cards you'd play anyway.
Yeah, it's like 4 for a body that draws 2 cards. That costs 5 in Magic for Moldrifter. And that dominated Standard.
It dodges all the damage-based removal. Our players punch their cameras simultaneously.
I'm gonna go shut this door because if I can hear the whistle through my headset, there's no way you don't.
All right, I'm being abandoned. Matthew's trying to find a way to deal with this board. Hopefully, he's got a Dragonfire for that Tamatoa. All right, Maui Flaversham is not bad.
I found some coffee beverage while I was gone.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
You just have like
Enchanted Maui.
Yeah.
Still a low lore count. Like, the Tamatoa is obviously terrifying, but at the same time, at only 4 lore...
It's actually drawing less than the Flaversham was, so...
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god. Is that the 4th one? That's unbelievable.
Is it the 4th? I think it's just the 3rd, but maybe he inked one.
I mean, I don't know. Even if it's just the 3rd, it's still crazy.
Crab and pick a fight.
Well, I was saying the Tamatoa is just drawing 1, but if it's gaining 4 lore and drawing 1, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, the pick a fight cards, they're really weird. Do you think pick a fight would have actually dominated and seen tons of play if it was inkable?
I think it would have seen way more play. I don't think it would have dominated anything, though. It would still see play if it was inkable.
Like, do you think it's fine at just a 2-cost inkable?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
Well, I meant, or do you think it'd be too good? Is I guess what I'm asking.
How could it possibly be too good? It's a removal spell that requires you to have a character in play. It would be playable. It would be great with Calhoun.
Yeah, it would be pretty good with Calhoun.
I don't think it'd be broken.
Man, maybe even at uninkable, it's playable with Calhoun.
I'm sure it's... Well, it's probably meta dependent. There are probably metas where you could imagine it, but...
Turn 5, Crab, pick a fight on Calhoun.
No, I think...
Not very good against Ruby Sapphire.
I wish that there was... You know, Ravensburger was really afraid to print inkable removal, and I kind of wish there was a little bit more. And then they did, and like, you know, we've got Brawl, and Brawl is just like crazy good.
As a strength.
Yeah, yeah, strength's quite good. Although that one makes sense because there's the setup requirement.
Strength is also so weak, but so good. It's
Yeah,
crazy. Like, it's when I first read it, I was just like, this is whatever. Like, I just didn't like my magic brain. In Magic, that card costs one and sees no play most of the
I
time, and
I
occasionally
was
sees play.
the first person to build Set Two Steel Song because the moment it came out, um, I started jamming games with before the set even released. I was jamming games for content with Cindy and Storm Ray John and Strength, and yeah, it was good. I knew it was going to be a problem. Cindy is also a crazy card we haven't talked about potentially banning, but that Cinderella, one drop Cinderella does more to hold back aggro than any card in the game. I think.
And that's that's fine-ish.
It's fine. It's just sad that we've never seen a tier one true aggro deck, but other people don't
Um,
like that style of
I
play, so I get
mean,
it.
aggro is the best deck in set one if you count Steel Song as an aggro deck.
No, if you were playing the Lilos, you could call it that, but
I did for a
those
little
of,
bit.
those of us who were saying stop playing the Lilos, so
True.
yeah. And if you count Diggy Diggy Hole as an aggro deck now, it's tier one, and
I
I just
think you
don't.
can
You
count it
could.
as an aggro deck.
I
It's
when I'm thinking like pure.
you think
I'm
hyper
going to
aggro.
beat you down like hyper aggro, like red deck
Every
wins
card in the
style,
deck is a character or a card that makes your character gain more lore or
or
gains you
lightning
lore.
bolt.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, would you play that card? 2 cost, deal 1 damage to any character, and you gain a lore. Or something like how lightning bolt itself would be absurd in this game. 1 cost,
Of
gain 3
course,
lore.
yes.
That's also 1 cost,
Expert,
deal 3 to anything. Yeah,
expert
a little good,
analysis.
a little good. But it's crazy how like lore is worth so much more in this game for a few reasons. One of
It's
which is
because
you can't block.
yeah, that's the big one. It's harder to stop. It's not necessarily like easier to get in the early game, but it's so much harder to stop in the mid and late game. Whereas in Magic, if you stabilize, it's like very difficult for your opponent to push damage through. In Lorcana, they can just like play character and it basically is unblockable and threatens to gain its lore. So
Rip doing some crazy stuff here.
he's just drawing a lot of cards. I mean, Matthew's been on the back foot trying to stop all of these Flavershams and then the Tamatoa. It's been a really tough situation to be in. I do worry that the Ruby Amethyst deck's not going to be able to beat a Diamond play. Um, it's going to be very, very difficult for Matthew to get out of this one now that there's that dime.
That's why I use ink tokens.
Ink tokens.
It's like, what is Rip's hand and what is his ink?
I don't know.
18 willpower worth of Laversham? He literally just put that on top of his ink on accident. He fixed it right away, but like right after I'm like complaining about it.
I just don't even know what you could have here. Like if Rip begins his turn with this Smee in play, I think he's just basically guaranteed to win because the dime takes you up to 15.
16 after Flaversham.
Well,
Or
yeah,
just
I'm
play
assuming the
Automaton.
Flaversham is gone and you only have the Smee.
All right, this game's over, I think, too. But
Yeah, there's just no.
Fumbles was just talking last night how he got to 19 with a diamond play and didn't draw a character for like 5 turns and lost the game.
That almost happened to be in Seattle where I had gotten to. I got into 17, played a dragon, activated dime on my dragon up to 19. It took me like 4 turns, and my opponent had put lethal on board, and I finally drew a character. The crazy thing is, like, I drew like popsicles and stuff, so I ended up having like 8 draws to find a character, and then I barely did it in time. So it can
He
happen, but
just I
it
like
didn't.
how
That's
he
how it's
pays the
always.
one for the popsicle, but not the 8 for the tomato.
Yes, this one.
The minor infraction write up this game is gonna be hilarious to
Yes,
see.
Rip, it is lethal. You can't actually just exert them all.
Look what Habibi's done. Elias has gotten people exerting their stuff the wrong directions. All right, let's not close the call and
That would be good.
undeafen and unmute. So now we can hear Discord. And I had Discorded unmuted the whole time on accident, anyways, because I'm fantastic at my job. All right, Bannable, if you want to take it off.
Am I taking off, or you?
I meant start asking questions first.
Oh, well, it's a weird choice of words for that.
Kick it off is, I guess, what I meant to say.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go to Matthew first. That Dragonfire you had on in game 2 looked crazy good. So, how have you felt about Dragonfire and Ruby Amethyst?
I like it. I know we're kind of shifting towards the Germain meta, but I feel like sometimes you have to target, and things like Tamatoa or a Simba are real important to be able to hit when you need to hit them.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like it's a good idea. I mean, I've been playing against like the various Ruby Sapphire decks, and I think they're wise to just like leaving a T-bow in play and not letting your Tremaines hit anything. So I like the idea of Dragonfire. I feel like it does a really good job of hitting things like Tamatoa, Maui Half Shark.
yeah, definitely Shark for sure. Or like Din had mentioned, the Gantus on the steel decks that go wide.
Yeah,
But yeah, obviously not putting a body on board doesn't feel great, but sometimes you got to do it.
yeah, makes sense. All right, Riplungs, why are you playing a half and half blue steel deck?
So,
I
the
didn't know
reason,
this public.
yeah, so the reason why I'm playing half-half is because I think both versions of No New World and New World builds are very strong in the current meta. No New World is just super strong against everything steel. And in my testing before my LCQ, after the LCQ, I just wanted to up my percentage winning on the draw against Ruby decks. And me and my teammate, shout out to the homie Rakana Justice, we just talked and we decided that instead of Chicha, that whole new world was just a better plan B. And I just like the fact that the way we built the deck, we don't have to focus the deck like for a whole new world. Like the way we built it, we can fix it. And I think having the best of both worlds packages are super strong, which is why we call the deck Hannah Montana, because you get the best of both worlds packages.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
An
How many?
entertaining deck name. We love those.
Thank you. Yeah, we just think that like when you play Lord of the Curve with packages like Calhoun, Hook, it's really strong with Smee to fight the early board, and then that meta game is super strong because thanks to Din, thanks to Ed, we love everyone. Keep dropping Medusas, keep dropping Elsas, keep dropping Ice Blocks. If you guys keep doing that, Sapphire and Steel is going to become the best deck in format. That makes Beast a strong card. And then in the cases where Beast isn't good, we still have Hiram and Visions against Steel decks. And then again, you have the whole new world, and Manor is such a good spot right now. We're in a Manor meta, so if we're playing Sapphire, we have to play the location, which is awesome. Super strong in that first game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Getting two in play at once was
Mhm.
very, very difficult to deal with. And it almost looked like game over when it happened because you were kind of already ahead on board, and then it's like 18 willpower worth of location
I
just
don't like it.
out of nowhere.
Yeah,
That's insane.
we think about Pete, and I think Pete's super strong because we were trying to like, oh, if we want to up our points, let's go up for Pete. But I think like the Manor is like a pseudo Pete specifically for the Ruby matches. So far, like it's everything in this deck's been working really good.
All right, well, thank you both. I had a ton of fun watching. Got any more questions, Luke?
Well, should we ask if did you even expect a Dragonfire to be played against you in that game?
100% not. I was playing around Elsa. I was trying to see like just being getting Elsa. That was the only card in my mind that I thought that he could play on turn 5.
Was the last card in your hand a Whole New World?
Yes, it was Whole New World, 100%.
All right.
That's
Because
why
we
I just
were
scooped it up.
so we were discussing on what you could have done instead of hitting Flynn. You could
Hmm.
have shot the Sisu and challenged the Sisu with Hook.
Yes.
It still kind of hurts you if they Dragonfire because then you have to play at least a 4-powered character. We also laughed that secretly the best play would have been to just play the Tinkerbell and then trade with Sisu because then you could have inked whatever you had and then played
Hmm.
the Simba. But we had also discussed that like unless we knew that Dragonfire was an out, there's like zero chances we do that.
Yeah, the only reason why I went for the Simba or the Tinkerbell was just because I was like, well, this has more willpower, more defense against Elsa's, and then like if I spin, like he can at least trade 2 for 1. But that Dragonfire was just crazy.
Yeah, I assumed it was just like there's no outs. They can't. What are they? What's he got that's gonna answer this? A set 1 uncommon? Nah, nah. All right,
Yeah,
but
that was crazy.
congrats on getting that win there. Great game, everyone. And then we're gonna swap over another caster while they switch over who's playing. Mute that, unmute here. I'm going to take a short little break. I was going to stream the whole time, but I figured that I'm going to want to eat as soon as my food gets here. And the lovely Bannable is going to stay on. Got to make sure.
Sorry, folks. Yeah, have to live with me for
Sorry,
even longer.
folks.
I know everyone was probably thinking, "Oh man, great! This first match is going to be over quick. Bannable can leave. We don't have to deal with him anymore." Jokes on
Yep.
you, fools.
Exactly what they were thinking, I'm sure of it.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know which of these cameras. It should be here.
But yes, Riplungs for Select Few up 1 match against Ohana Lorcana on the other side of our ICL matchup tonight. Let's see if Ohana can bring it back here in round 2.
Boop. Aha! Perfection. All right. Well, I think we can hear you now. Oh. I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? We'll figure it out. Is it because I don't have her name underneath me or under her? That's got to be what it is. Is your actual mic muted?
I'm not sure. Well, it wouldn't be an ICL stream without a few technical difficulties now, would it? I know. Poor Lycos. No, not like this. Are I don't is are they in the separate room still? Sorry, I've got my thing. What the heck? Great. It's my show. We're trying to get the technical difficulties figured out. The players for round 2 are getting set up. I'm gonna try and pull up deck lists here. Round 2. Round 2, we're gonna have Tanya for Team Ohana versus Justice for Team Select Few. And that looks like Tanya is going to be playing Steel Song, and Din is going to be playing Ruby Sapphire. Now, I might be mistaken, but I think I may have played Tanya in Seattle during Swiss. So that's kind of fun for me. Looking at the lists, looks like Luke, I don't see her in the room. Like, are you sure that there's not a separate room somewhere? No, wrong. I see it on the main ICL broadcast screen, but not separate. I always joked that one time, one of these days we'll have a smooth broadcast. I'm not actually convinced that it will happen, but it could. We're just trying to keep you on your toes here. Yes, we've got a traditional Steel Song list with Whole New World, One Prince Naveen, Aerials, you know the deck, and what looks to be a Din Four Pirates Life for Super Goof style Ruby Sapphire deck.
Okay.
Hello!
Ah, you can finally
Welcome
hear.
back.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Well, please introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, I'm Lycos 14, also known as Raquel, and I'm excited to see this matchup because as a Steel Song player, Ruby Sapphire is hell. All right.
All right, so we do have if you want to change the names, swap them around for us, Luke. We do have, I believe, Tanya on the left, Justice on the right. But yes, Tanya for Team Ohana playing Steel Song on the left side of your screen. This is Justice for Team Select Few playing the DKP Sapphire Ruby deck.
Yeah, also known as Din a little lower, kind of like dig a little deeper, but with the new way of Ruby Sapphire going.
Yes, much lower to the ground, less draw power, way more ability to gain lore.
Yeah. So it looks like Justice here has the perfect first couple of draws with Popsicle into Tipo. So he's up to 3 ink already.
Mm-hmm. Tanya missing a 1-drop, but having an aggressive 2-drop in the form of Smee, and then 2 plays on turn 3 here, which is good.
Yeah. It looks like she's playing Calhoun, which is a little different in Steel Song just because of all the uninkables. So obviously there's some different things in her deck.
Yep, Tanya's definitely playing a more traditional Steel Song list with aerials. We've seen a lot of Dwarf Mine style Steel Song decks, but there are 2 ways to play the deck. This is the one we'd seen in almost every set prior to this one.
That's right. What is it? The Candios. I can't remember what they call it now with the mines.
Diggy hole.
Yeah, diggy hole. Yes. So it looks like Justice is inking a Tipo and deciding to play a 4-drop. I'm assuming maybe some sort of Haram or
probably be the best one.
Or maybe even Brawl.
But yeah, Brawl on the Daisy would be fine. But yeah, it is the Super Goof which can challenge that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this card is just so good.
It is.
It is going to get eaten by this Calhoun on the crackback, but it gains 2 lore, takes out the Smee, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. And then does he decide to quest with Tipo? He does not.
He chooses not to. Something you definitely could do, given that I don't think Tani's deck has much in the way of rush threats. I'm guessing that Calhoun's going to want to take out the Super Goof, so you could easily have question for one with the Tipo there. But I don't think that. Well, I don't know. Maybe the one lore could come back to matter in this deck.
Yeah, because there's not anything on the board that's going to take it out. So Calhoun, I guess
Like
Daisy
so
could
you
take out Super Goof.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Daisy could take out Super Goof, and then
Calhoun would take out
Calhoun
Tipo.
could take out
Yeah,
Tipo, which is
that
definitely
makes sense.
a pretty reasonable play, I think. But it would, it would slow Tani down. I mean, that would be -2 lore.
Quest for
I don't even know if
2.
that would be that bad for Justice. So. Yeah, we hit what I believe was a develop your brain. So no draw off the Daisy for Justice.
And it's interesting where Justice's discard is. That kind of throws me off a little bit.
Yeah, below the deck.
Yeah. Oh, and Tanya with that let the storm rage on to just clear that board on Justice's side. I like that.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
And with the Queen follow up, just putting more threats on the board here.
Yep. Indeed. So Tanya with a Calhoun, Daisy, and Queen, which is a pretty good board on her side, and Justice with nothing. So at this point, we'll get to see if they're going to continue to ramp up or.
I would think Justice's best play is likely something like a Maui. Sail's fine because it can set up for a be prepared next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking. Yeah, Tani does have 4 Pete, so trying to set up for a B prep is a little bit risky here. You
Yes.
walking right into a Pete.
Yeah. You get Pete locked in. She could just quest away into a win. Inking that Maui shark.
Mm-hmm.
They just passed. Oh, that's
No.
rough.
I think he just ticking up his ink total on
Okay.
Pixel and I think he's just hitting the mouse key.
Okay. I was going to be like, that is really crazy.
I also thought it was a pass at first, but no, it's just hitting the mouse key.
Worst play ever.
Yeah, so one notable thing about the Din Ruby Sapphire deck is it's not playing Sisu. We've seen a lot of Sisus, big Sisu, 8-drop Sisu out of these Ruby Sapphire ramp decks, but that is not an option in this newer version.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that works out for Steel Song, or is
I think that's good for Steel Song. I think Steel Song is set up well to answer Be Prepared, and is not set up well to answer Sisu. Sisu tends to be really, really good against Steel Song, especially if you're playing small Sisu to shift it in. With that said, it's still a bad matchup for Steel Song, and I do think that like the Super Goofs are bad for Steel Song, so it's kind of a give and a take. But yes, as far as specifically the sweeper choice, I do think that not having to worry about Sisu is quite nice.
Yes. So questing for 4, going up to 10 on Tanya's side. Takes another thing from Justice, so no draw.
All right, no
him,
Pete, which means the Be Prepared can absolutely come down here.
Yes.
I expect to see one. If not, this game will be ending quite quickly, I suspect.
Yes, and it looks like Tanya was on the draw or on the play, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think so, yep.
So be prep, reset that board. Let's see if we're gonna pass it back over. And the aerial, gotta love the aerial always to come in and give us hopefully the good cards.
Yeah, I do like Ariel. It's also nice that Tanya did get a Lilo into the Bane, which can come back later.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just the aerial play, which is not ideal.
Yes.
Probably pretty happy with this spot here. Got plenty of time.
I agree. This slows it down to where if you have at least 2 characters on the board, then you don't have to worry about brawl as much, or it puts a little pressure on them. But now we get that shark on Justice's side, which is very threatening for Tanya.
For sure. Tanya does have 3 Zeus Bolt, which is good. You're kind of going to need that here. And I suspect that Tanya might have just a pile of uninkables in hand, so hopefully one of them is a Zeus Bolt. Otherwise, this half shark is going to dominate the board.
Yeah, we do know that she got the Let the Storm Rage on from, so we at least have that. And she does bring the Lilo back, which I don't know if this is the right time to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, that seems like a
Yeah.
hard tell that you have the Zeus Bolt to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
For sure. That's fantastic.
So now we're going to find out if Justice has the second Be Prepared. He is playing the full 4 copies, so very, very possible that there's a second one here.
I guess we're going to find out. Otherwise, this goes up to... This becomes a very threatening board very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume that he doesn't because he's taking a little bit too long
I'm
to make a decision.
I feel like if you had it, you might just slam it here.
So let's see, at this point, maybe he has Brawl or maybe even a Sail to see if he can look for something. Oh, it does look like he had it.
I couldn't tell. Hey, your eyes are better than mine.
There we go. So I wonder if he just doesn't have he doesn't want to ink one of his cards.
Yeah, maybe just was afraid of using it and then not having it for the next turn.
Yeah.
So now Tanya does have the option again of just bringing the Lilo back. Yep, looks like Tanya does make that choice.
Yep.
All right, and a Smee to back it up.
Okay, so 4 lore being put on the board for Justice to answer once again.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Tanya's spot just because the 4 Pirate's Life make it very difficult to close a game out from 10 against this deck that can just drain your lore in the mid game.
Yeah, you definitely want to close this game out as quickly as possible if you're on in Tanya's side. So I wonder what else she has in her hand.
If I were guessing, at least one more Zeus Bolt is in there, which we may see here.
It's got Let the Storm Rage on,
No,
take
yep,
2 and draw a card.
Maybe 2 of them. That would make sense.
Hopefully she drew an uninkable so she can zap again, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to quest for 2, go to 12.
Ooh.
Oh, and then we're passing it back over to Justice.
That is not
That's
good.
rough.
They must be a whole new world or something.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is in Tanya's hand, it is not good.
Yes. So Popsicle healing up that Maui so that it does not get banished when he takes out that Smee. That's rough.
Yeah, this is a brutal spot, I think. Now, Justice does not have a lot of cards in hand, so there's still a chance here. That's one weakness of this newer version of the deck, is that it does not draw cards as well as the old versions did. You're not playing Tamatos. Your Flowerstorms are not as strong because you have less items. So
yeah, in fact, you only have, 4 items?
Yeah, generally, I didn't look at the exact list here.
I think it's just the popsicles that. So, I mean, that's very limited.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like.
One.
Oh, look at that! We did have another Let the Storm Rage on to take out that Maui, which is fantastic. But that Manor is gonna get Justice back in the game because a Steel Song does not have very much.
That's brutal. That's Supergoop is the perfect answer to Lilo.
Gosh.
Because it can challenge every turn, and it just gains 2 lore every time.
Yeah, it can challenge it for 4 turns.
Yeah. This one has really, really gotten away from Tanya.
Yes. So got Grammatella, we got 2 cards in hand for Justice, turning it back over, and the board is looking very different right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for maybe a strength or a Zeus probably, but you wouldn't even be able to use it until next turn.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not even sure what you're looking for. Something like maybe a whole new world and then just absolutely flood the board. Like if you could get a whole new world here.
Oh,
that's not it.
man.
Yeah, if you could put a couple singers in play and have a whole new world, then you could potentially threaten to flood the board, and hope that Justice just does not find another Be Prepared. That's maybe your best bet to win the game.
Yeah, that's always a difficult position to be in as Steel Song because as soon as you wheel a Ruby Sapphire deck,
Yep.
they get the answers to everything.
Yeah, it does tend to be the way it goes.
Yes, so Justice here with Grandma Tala, Super Goof, and the Manor already up to 8 lore, and then just going to continue to ramp up and find those cards he needs. At this point, it's almost like getting some manners. Just drop manners and you know you're going to win the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, second manner would be very, very strong. A brawl for this aerial would also be nice. I feel like that would cut off a lot of outs that Tanya might have.
Yes. So it looks like we're paying 2 a vision, so we're digging for something.
That's one thing that this newer version of Ruby Sapphire is really, really good at, is digging to find your answers. So if you need something specific, it's not that hard to get. Even if you only have a couple copies left, like something like Be Prepared in your deck, you can just cycle through so many cards in one turn that it's actually quite feasible to find it.
Yeah, I mean, he's already looked at, 7, 8 cards?
A lot.
So, I mean, that's such a powerful thing.
You just have to reveal that.
Just revealed. Well, we know what's going to come next. I think that Ariel's going bye-bye.
Yeah, that cuts off the whole new world out into flooding the board, because now if you play a whole new world, you have to use most of your ink to do it.
Oh, yeah. And that's the worst thing for a Steel Song, is having to pay for it. All right. So board goes back to Tanya, see what we can get from her. So we're paying 4. We're going to Zeus. We're going to take out that manor. All right.
That makes sense.
I like that.
Still a tough spot. So you could trade Tala into Lawrence and then finish it off with Super Goof, gain 2 lore.
Well, you could just trade the Goof right into it.
You could do it. I'm not sure which one you. Oh, I guess yeah. I'm not sure which one you'd prefer to keep. Well, I'll give the second Super Goof.
Man,
makes a lot of,
that
makes a lot of sense.
That's insane.
I was thinking you would want to keep the Super Goof and not the Tala, but I do actually think it's close. But if you have the second Super Goof, it's pretty obvious.
That's fantastic, man. Super Goof for the double take.
There's the whole new world.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too late though, I think.
Yeah, it looks like we did discard a B prep, so just 1 more in there. But I mean, with Maui Shark, that's another 8 in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
She does have 2 ink still available, so it looks like we're gonna get with a Daisy. Wonder what else she can flood the board with. Maybe a Smee.
We'll see.
Feels like she's teasing me over here. Oh, looks like we do have Calhoun.
Yeah, Calhoun I think is a good one. Just because it can challenge things and gain lore at the same time, which is nice. I do think Tanya's now on the back foot, so challenging is going to have to happen.
Yes, and might as well gain lore while you're challenging, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now Justice has, a full 8 cards to play with at this point.
One Pirate's Life is going to really just close the game out here for Justice.
Yeah, I mean, even playing a Maui Shark at this point is huge. And he's at what, 9 ink? Looks like we're searching for something else.
Yeah, it's so funny. He just drew 7. What are you looking for?
Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't in the 7 cards. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Get as many cards as you can.
Yeah, just take as many game actions as you can.
Yep.
Take
There's the
your time,
mana.
you need to rush.
And 3 for Brawl, taking out that Daisy.
Now debating whether or not we quest.
I think you quest anyways. I mean, you
I
go up
probably
to
would, I
16.
mean, yeah.
It's very difficult for them to get rid of your mana. But we'll see what
But maybe you
Justice
don't want to give
decides.
too low. Like if you have a Pirate's Life, I think it's pretty easy to quest here. But if you had a Pirate's Life, didn't really matter what you did this turn. I think depending on
Popsicle.
what your hand is, you might be so safe that there's no sense even giving the 2 lore.
Yep, looks like we're gonna quest. Oh, we're gonna sing Pirate's Life.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's rough. So we got game on board for Justice.
Mm-hmm.
So Tanya needs to answer both Goof and Tala.
Yes, because if the Goof can challenge back, then
Mm-hmm.
another aerial.
Okay. And we've used at least 2 Zeuses, correct? If I'm
Yes, 2. I believe 2.
Yeah.
So there's only 1 left.
Yeah. So it looks like we get a strength. We'd have to get a couple more characters on the board in order to take out Goof or Tala.
Another aerial.
Okay, another aerial.
Yeah.
Another strength. All right. It looks like we have enough for 3, right? So we can take one thing out. We don't have enough to take out Goof, though, right?
Yeah, not quite. You could challenge it with the Calhoun.
Yeah, but you wanna banish it. So you would almost want one more character on the board so you can play the strength and then banish with the Calhoun.
All right, so it does pair the 2 up to finish off the Super Goof, but Justice is going to 19.
Mm-hmm.
And any Pirate's Life wins the game. Any character after this turn that stays on board is going to win the game. That McDuck Manor will win the game next turn. Basically everything.
Yep.
There's the Pirate's
So
Life.
there we go. Pirate's Life. All right. So it looks like Tanya will be on the play once again to hopefully reverse sweep this for Steel Song. Steel Song has a soft spot for me. So I'm rooting for you, Tanya.
Is that your deck of choice, Steel Song?
It's one of my decks of choices. Yes, I Steel and Amethyst are the 2 colors I usually pair up. So I usually play a deck that's Steel something or Amethyst something. I'm too controlly to not want all the options available to me.
Habibi calling Tanya 2-0 from here.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see this one at least go to game 3.
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully Tanya can find a 1-drop this game, get off to a quick start, put some real pressure on.
And even find some Petes. I mean, if you can Pete,
Pete last game would have done it.
If you can stop that from happening, then you stall, and you can close out the game. So here's to Tanya getting Pete turn 4, 5, and 6.
Even just 1 Pete. Well, that depends. It depends what Justice plays. I mean, Justice really has the option of going like Tala into Maui, and you don't even need to prep anymore at that point. But
yeah, that's very true. But Justice played that very well. Didn't didn't get too flustered or anything. Sometimes it's just waiting to get your board set up after controlling the other side and making sure that they can't do anything anymore.
BB's telling me this matchup is favored for Tanya. Now, I don't know if that's true. I'm skeptical, but Habibi would know. He is kind of a steel song expert.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe on the play you are, or if you find the Pete's.
Well, I'm sure on the
But
play, steel song deck's favored. Although most decks are favored in most matchups on the play.
yes,
so.
I mean, yes. But I mean, unless you have the Pete, it becomes very difficult. Just because they're able to take your lore away with Pirate's Life.
Yeah, one thing I found difficult to play against the Din list is that you want to get aggressive against these Ruby Sapphire decks early, but you also have to be aware that they can turn 3 a Super Goof and challenge down any character with 2 or fewer wheel power, which actually makes it kind of difficult to put up safe pressure sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kind of have to play around that goof now instead of just assuming that they're going to brawl whatever you have on the board.
Right.
So it looks like we're opting not to quest with the queen on Tanya's side and skipping it back over to Justice over here.
Okay, so I think Tanya is trying to play around a Queen of Hearts, which I don't know that it's there. No.
Yeah, I don't
see Queen
believe
of Hearts,
so.
but I believe Tanya's probably playing around Queen of Hearts there. It's the only thing I can think of, which suggests to me like I would never play around Queen of Hearts unless I had the shift. So I'm guessing Tanya has the shift.
That's what I'm assuming as well.
Yeah, and the wheel. So
yeah.
Basically, Tanya was thinking, if I lose this queen, my game plan is completely destroyed, so I can't risk it.
Yes.
And some people have played Queen of Hearts, Scott Markison, who got second at the North American Continental Challenge, did play 1 Queen of Hearts in his Ruby Sapphire deck. So
yeah, and I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yep.
So we'll see if this kind of throws Justice off his game plan, since, at this point, 7 new cards that you had no game plan with.
Right, yeah, you'd set your hand up, you chose what to ink with Tipo, and you probably had a 4-drop. Now it's like completely random 7. Do you have a 4-drop? Who knows? Do you have a 5-drop? Who knows? It's not the hand you mulligan for.
Okay, it looks like we're playing the Daisy on her side. So Queen, Cinderella, and Daisy. That's a pretty good board on that side over there. Justice with the Sail.
Yep, Sail setting up a potential B prep again next turn. Mm-hmm. Does Tanya have a Pete? That is the question.
Come on, Tanya. Turns 4, 5, and 6. Remember. So we'll see what we're going to ink a vision. Or is that Develop Your Brain? I think that's Develop Your Brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then are we going to play anything with that 2? Possibly another Tipo? Kind of excited to see. Okay. I'm going to brawl that Daisy. Okay.
All right.
So inking, develop in a Pirate's Life. So at least that's a Pirate's Life you don't have to worry about anymore.
So just this up to
5. Mm-hmm.
In play. Can play Maui Half Shark next turn. Tanya's going to have to start getting aggressive here.
Mm-hmm.
Could have potentially questioned with the Cindy last turn and chose not to. It's definitely a tricky spot.
Yep.
Sitting at 0 lore is not where you want to be going into the mid game against Ruby Sapphire. I can tell you that.
Yeah, definitely not. So it looks like we are playing the Aerial. Possibly looking for a Zeus. Yep, a Zeus, because you know that Maui Shark is probably going to come out next turn.
Definitely a good find. Definitely a good find.
So I like that she's preparing for what's going to come. And then we have one ink open, can ink one more for turn. But it looks like we're going to pass and not quest with Cinderella again.
I like question with Cindy just because Justice is probably not going to play a Maui Half Shark this turn, knowing that Tanya has a Zeus Bolt. So I think maybe Justice's best play is just like a 5-drop Maui, in which case I think you would want to have quested with that Cindy.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, regardless if he plays that 5-drop Maui, he's going to go for the queen and not Cindy. And Tipo can't banish Cinderella on its own. But I'm sure she's setting everything up so that she can take out anything that Justice does play, is what I am assuming.
For sure, yeah. I think Maui's the scariest thing that could happen here. Like, I think if you're Tanya, seeing this sale is, well, I guess it could still be.
Can double ink, yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like we got Grandma Tala. Are we going to ink or are we playing? Okay, we're going to ink a shark. And brawling this Ariel.
Yeah, just choosing safe ways, not playing into the Zeus Bolt makes some sense.
Yes. And it's not like Tanya is running away with a game, so the pressure is not there. Yeah, you still have time to kind of keep developing your hand and the board.
Justice, of course, threatening, be prepared next turn. So we've got a Lawrence. That's not Pete.
Okay. Questing for 2 again with the queen.
Yeah, I really like questing with Cindy now that the B prep could come down.
Yes, I agree. I think she's still debating it. Maybe she has a song that she can sing with Cinderella.
Yeah, I think a storm would be fine here to just cycle it. All right, another pass. Yeah,
Okay,
very scared, very timid with this Cindy. That's a missed 3 lore potentially.
I kind of want to know what the thought process is by that. Obviously, she doesn't have a Let the Storm Rage on to take out the Tipo. So I'm kind of wondering what's in your hand.
I think that obviously Super Goof challenging now with Cindy is probably what Tanya is thinking of. If I had to guess, I just think that the Super Goof is so far away from what Justice's best plays are that I think you kind of just have to accept it. And now so Tipo and Super Goof can still trade with this queen. So the Super Goof's good anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, it's Tanya have 2 cards in hand. One is a Zeus Bolt, probably.
So we got Pete. So that's fantastic. So your board is pretty much safe.
Me. Okay, this is good. This is good. Yes. You got to start getting aggressive here, though.
Yep. So quested up to 6. Are we going to quest with the Cinderella this time, or? Nope. It looks like she's just chilling.
If you've decided that that's the way you're going to play it, then I get it.
Hey, she's just having a sensational time, Mm-hmm. So Grandma calms down. Let's see what she puts a card in hand, and looks like we still have 5 open ink. Can still quest for or ink for another one. But we are just passing.
Okay, so I think to me that says I have to be prepared. I guess maybe the hand is full of actions, so you just can't do anything at all.
Yes.
Always put to pass, but I'd be expecting to be prepared here. Yeah.
There we go. The V. Wow. So we got Shark, Brawl, maybe a Visions, I think.
I thought it was be prepared as the back card, but I'm not sure.
I thought it was a Brawl.
It could be.
But I thought I saw.
Well, your eyes were better than mine last time, so. Very good chance it was a Brawl.
So let's
Now,
see here.
This is a decent spot. If you could play like a Lilo here, something
Or
that,
even a Pete. This is where, yes,
yeah, Pete Dodge is
fantastic.
amazing. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes, that's exactly what you want.
Now,
You quest with
Tanya's
everything. You
Yeah.
pressure the board at this point. Even
strength. Yeah.
yeah. Go for 5, go to 11.
Yeah, this looks like a really, really good spot for Tanya.
Yes. This is where you want to be at as Steel Song. You know, B Prep can't come down. The only thing that they can do is maybe Maui something. But
Like
that's
Maui plus Super Goof, but it's still not. That's not going to be.
yeah,
Not
that's
going to be enough.
Yep. And it looks like, yep, we're gonna scoop it up. It looks like.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Nice.
All right, well, that was a good turn for Tanya. It looked rough for a while there, but she had the game plan, I think.
Yeah,
She's just
I'm telling
here,
you.
like, I gotta get to 7, play my wheel right into another Pete. Perfect.
Yeah, that's what you want to see as Steel Song is just Pete to shut that off. You know, especially right now with the Ruby Sapphire with that super heavy action songs deck, Pete becomes that much more powerful in Steel Song.
For sure. Yeah, like I said, Pete in this matchup, knowing that you're only playing it to be prepared and not big Sisu, it helps a lot. You know that you can find one card to protect your whole board. You don't have to fear going wide if you've got the Pete. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, I mean, because at that point, Super Goof and you know, Maui can take 2 things out, but if you have a board full of your wins, then it's fine. I'll sacrifice 2 in order to gain 7 more.
But here we go, going into game 3. Justice for Select View will be on the play with his Ruby Sapphire deck, and that is a very, very strong position to be in.
Yes.
I think if you're Justice, you're very happy going first in this third game.
Yeah, stealing that first game on the draw was huge for Justice. So let's see what Tanya can do being on the draw for this game 3, and maybe reverse sweep this.
Oh, Phil, you are not bad when you casted last week. We love to have you. We love to have our judges on stream. Get some judge representation out there. They're so mysterious. Hiding behind the rules. We never get to see your faces. So
I know. We also sometimes don't even know what their names are.
I somehow know a lot of judges. I don't know how this happened, but
we could call him Judge Phil, or mistakenly call him Locana Man. You never know.
Yeah, it's hard to judge anyone. I feel like I'm such a horrible caster, and Luke keeps putting me up here anyway. So
hey, you're doing great, man. You're doing great.
I know. I'm the best.
And you're looking very spiffy. I'm just wearing my Super Bowl Chiefs since the Chiefs play this weekend.
I didn't even notice. I can't believe I sat here for this long and let you just wear that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's disrespectful on a level that I can't even comprehend.
I can't help it when I just got to represent my team.
Oh God, just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
It's okay. You can clean it up. I'll take over for a minute.
Thus far, it's been fun, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to have fun for the rest of this.
All right, so it looks like we're inking a Hiram and playing a Develop Your Brain. So not the best play, but not terrible for Justice either.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot better you can do. You've got 4 popsicles, but it's not just ice blocks in his deck.
Yeah.
Tanya plays the queen, setting up a potential
shift queen, whole new world. Yeah.
It was really, really good last game. Okay, Justice does not have turn 2 ramp. So if you're Tanya, you're thinking, this is my shot.
Yes.
This is my chance.
This is golden right here. It looks hesitant on what he wants to ink, too.
I'd be flustered. I'd be like, oh, we go to game 3, don't have my ramp.
Oh.
It's very winnable still for Justice, but that is not how you want to start.
For sure. This is definitely a good start for Tanya. Let's see what she has for turn 2 on her end. guess we're being told to play on cloth playmats. I've never played on a cloth playmat myself.
They're okay, although the classic Yu-Gi-Oh player folded cloth playmat is utter insanity. If you can get a playmat that lays flat and you don't have to fold under itself, that's great. I do like the feel of a cloth playmat, but
Is it calming? Kind of like a sensory room, but a sensory playmat?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy, but I'm not that into the material my playmat's made out of.
All right, so it looks like we're inking a strength and let's see, a Cinderella and another queen.
I like
That's good. I very much like that. We're gonna.
I genuinely hope that Tanya quests with this queen.
Yeah, she needs to quest because Super Goof can't come down next turn.
Yep.
Yes, very good. And she has that queen, the other queen, in order to still be able to shift if she does have the queen.
Okay, so we found the sale, but not on the turn we wanted it. A little bit late.
Yes. But we can still ramp this turn, so play 2, even maybe play Tipo as well.
Yep. Possibly a second sale if we got really lucky.
It looks like we're inking that sale.
Wow. Those
Okay.
were a good sequence of draws for Justice. I'm guessing that his Develop Your Brain did some work last turn.
Yes. So it looks like we have Tipo on the board, which is what you want, a body on the board, and now we're up to 5 ink. We do only have 2 cards in hand, so now, or 3 cards, it looks like. So if I'm Tanya, I definitely don't want to wheel Justice into anything good now.
Yeah. Yeah. The wheel, if had there been no ramp in the first few turns, would have been really, really strong. But now you do have to wonder. But if you can empty your hand, it's still pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Okay.
we got it.
Looks like we are going to wheel. Looks like I couldn't tell what the other ones were, but how far you'll go. And something red.
We'll see.
All right. I'm gonna think that she probably drew let the Storm Rage on, possibly, so we can zap that Tipo and draw another card.
Yeah, not bad.
Yep. And then
A little bit sad to see the Pete in the inkwell. You'd love to have that Pete in hand, but
yes. I'm sure that was not she might have just had too many uninkables in her hand. And kind of just had to wheel, otherwise she would put herself behind as well.
So Justice could play 5-drop Maui, 6-drop Maui. 6-drop Maui is a little bit risky. A Zeus Bolt would be pretty devastating, I think.
Yeah, possibly playing a Super Goof, and then another Sail, or you kind of want to have a body, right?
Yeah, I think so. Super Goof seems pretty good. 5-drop Maui seems pretty good.
Super Goof Tipo, possibly. Oh, it looks like we are going with 5, so a Maui take out that queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the awkward thing here is that Tanya doesn't have a super wide board, so if you play Pete, yeah, Justice can't play Be Prepared next turn, but Justice doesn't need to play Be Prepared next turn currently.
Uh-huh. I agree. And at this point, possibly, Maui's probably going to die next turn. But healing it. Yeah. So if we have Shift Queen, this would be fantastic.
What? Well,
you Shift Queen, you quest. You give it -4 on the Maui, +4 for the Cinderella.
Yeah, the trouble is -4 isn't good enough.
But then you don't have to run both of your characters into the Maui.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the best way to do it here is.
Or just strength it. That's even better.
I think we're just hoping for no be prepared. Maybe Tani doesn't have much choice.
Yeah.
It's a difficult spot to be in because you couldn't play around be prepared and commit a bunch of threats to the board at the same time. So it's
Yeah,
not
I
really
mean,
an enviable position.
for sure, you kind of have to make a choice at some point of being aggressive, or standing still.
Right. Yep. Chose to play into it, but
Mhm.
it's all right. There's still more game to be played here.
For sure. I mean, you get your what? We can go to a 5 ink up on this turn for Tanya. So I mean, we can still play 2 different characters. Continue to put, board presence.
Yeah, I think maybe the best setup is something like an aerial into a threat. Threaten the wheel again. Threaten some lower pressure.
And I can't tell what that is. It looks like, we're going to just play Naveen Whole New World. That also works.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Pirates, Goof, Hiram, Shark. It's a pretty good hit.
Yeah, it's one nice thing about the Prince Naveen is that you can just kind of play it on an empty board.
Yeah. It definitely is nice.
You don't get stuck with a whole new world in your hand. This is a good turn for Tanya, I think.
Yes.
Refreshing her hand, getting two lore threats in play.
Yeah. And at this point, if he decides to be prep, I mean, she still has a full hand to put more pressure on the board once again.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we are going to 8 ink. Okay, the manor. Are we going to double manor? I was like, double manor.
Brawl, okay. Yeah, setting up a race situation. That's the thing about this McDuck Manor. It's so hard for steel decks to remove that you force them to play out their hand, trying to either race it or pressure it. You have to play a bunch of cards to do either. And then suddenly they play another Be Prepared and the location's still in play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it becomes very difficult to decide at what point you become the aggressor or, take that manor down. Because the minute you choose not to, they wipe your board and then you're stuck seeing the game slip away. So it looks like we're playing the Smee. Still have 4 ink available. So let's see what Tanya does here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think if you're Tanya, you almost have to just hope they don't have a second Be Prepared and go all in.
Mm-hmm. If you have a Pete, this is kind of like and I think that's what she's going to be looking for.
Just
still
running
has
Pete to the end of the game.
Yeah, that's all you need. So she still has 3 ink up. So she got the Pete, then I assume that she will play it at this point. Yes.
Pete.
Fantastic. That stops Justice's being able to play B Prep, Brawl, or continue to ramp or look for cards. So
that's good. Maui, all the Mauis are still good. Those are probably Justice's best plays are Mauis. Mm-hmm. Maui plus 4 drop Tala would be very, very good.
Agreed. Okay, we got Super Goof.
Is fine. Something you can play to the board. Put a couple damage on Veen. I don't know how much I like that. It does open up. Draw 2 with Ariel. Scary. Rapunzel.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Yes.
They're both amber. They look alike, right?
More, though. Maybe Justice is got multiple Pirates Life in hand and is committing to this race plan, saying if you play Rapunzel, it's too slow.
I mean, you could still play Rapunzel and a Pete.
Yep, you could.
This next turn. So
We
if
should
she
do that.
gets the draws that she needs, then
Rapunzel, Pete, maybe sing a song would be a very, very strong turn.
So we got the Rapunzel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is why I'm not sure about that challenge there. It seems a little unnecessary.
Let's see what happens here. Kind of super excited to see if she Zeus's something or the race comes in. Okay, I'm thinking she's gonna take out that goof. Yep. All right, so now inking something, and if she has that Pete, then she can play the Pete here and quest with everything and continue putting that pressure on the board.
Yeah, we know Tanya has already inked one Pete, so there's 2 more potentially left in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
The longer this goes, the more I think that it's not in Tanya's hand.
I agree.
Maybe debating a wheel. Okay, putting 3 energy in the manor.
Maybe a Zeus at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, you'd almost have to Zeus and swing with Naveen to take out the mana, right? Okay,
So
we're
do
gonna
another
wheel.
I would have liked not challenging before the wheel, just to see what we draw here.
I agree. Draw first and then see what your best option is at that point.
Pete.
There
Yeah,
we go.
see,
Just to Pete.
with that Pete, I almost like questing,
Mm-hmm.
and just putting as much pressure on as fast as you can.
Yeah, because at this point you're both still at 6.
Right, and you know, like Justice can't play half of his deck with that Pete there.
So now let's see how Justice plays this without playing actions or songs.
Choosing to trade with
Smee.
Maui can take out Naveen, maybe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Johnny's still so far away from 20 lore.
Yes. Oh, and there's another manor. Oh, that's rough.
Well, maybe Tanya will. I'm not sure how many whole new worlds we've lost to the bin, but maybe if we can play all 4 whole new worlds, we can run Justice out of cards.
Ooh, mill him out. That is a possibility. That would be pretty. That would be pretty crazy. Have we seen?
It doesn't happen so often these days.
I was gonna say, have we seen anybody get milled out in one of these matches?
I don't know. That'd be a good question for the producer.
Yeah. Where's the birthday boy?
Probably eating.
Oh man, like all those cards, those sharks.
I'm trying to see how many be prepareds are in there. It's hard to tell.
I think there's 3 in there.
It's good to be aware of.
And then we're just gonna move Shark into the manor. Is that a power move? I've never understood that.
Right. My voice from above is saying he doesn't think anyone's been milled out in
Okay.
ICL.
Let's mill them. Let's mill them. Come on, chat. Let's mill them. All right. So it looks like we're gonna take out that Maui that was on the manor.
4th Pete. I would love to see a 4th Pete here.
Oh man, if
So
that
good.
Pete comes down, that's crazy. So we're gonna take out the manor. Looks like we're taking the manor out. So we must not have Pete.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think Tanya is maybe saying that she just doesn't believe the B prep is in there, or I don't know.
Let's see what we do here. One for a daisy.
Daisy.
Yep, and then we're gonna pass.
It's the cross our fingers and pray
Oof.
strategy.
I will say that deck is looking pretty slim over there. So
It is. They're
Right.
both looking quite slim.
Yeah.
I don't know. If another Whole New World gets played, I don't know who's gonna win.
maybe she's waiting for him to like continuously draw so that she can just be like
Okay.
wheel.
We're digging. He took something a little quickly,
Yes.
which is concerning.
So did he got? Oh, and I don't even know if there's 7 cards in that.
Be
Yes.
prepared.
Yes, look at that birthday boy here with the background.
Oh, dang.
I mean, at least she took one of those banners out, so we were prepared for the bead prep.
Yeah,
come down.
8 lore to 8 lore. Not where you want to be for Steel Song for sure.
Yeah.
Looking very, very good for Justice. I'd be pretty happy to be in his spot right now. Maybe shaking in his boots. Now, they may know that all 4 wheels are in the bin. We never got a good look at what Tani was discarding on a couple of those
That's true.
in the world. So, very possible that they're aware the mill plane is off the table here.
Yeah, but we also might know that all 4 B preps are in the bin as well,
True.
right? So at this point, we can go as wide as possible.
Yes, players
if-
with information we do not have
Yes,
because they're allowed to talk to each other.
yes. We can only guess as they quickly put their cards in the discard. So I guess for future players. Okay,
3
so there's
Yeah,
3 B preps.
3 B preps, and I believe there are 3 wheels in Tanya's discard.
Okay, so one of each for each player still out there. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I could be drawing more cards if I was Justice. I'd be
Yeah,
super nervous.
it's definitely a scary place to be.
I think it takes a certain type of person to be a Ruby Sapphire player, and I am just not that type of person.
Well, it depends too. I'm not sure how many cards are there, but if you're already at, say, 7, 8 cards in your deck, at that point you know that you can't beat the next Whole New World anyway, so you may as well just not worry about it so much.
Okay, there we go. Putting that, so a 3-turn clock with the 2 manners on the board.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Between the Pirate's Life and the Super Goofs, it's not going to be a 3-turn clock. I think Justice is really setting up a win next turn here.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Tanya, there's nothing you can do about it if you're Tanya. You kind of just have to play with whatever's in your hand and hope that the Super Goofs aren't there to just end the game. But yeah, not an enviable position for sure.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you would really want to have a wheel in your hand, and maybe I don't know if she has enough ink to play it. If she's at 6 or 7, I can't tell. Looks like we are getting a strength.
I wonder. We are entering territory where maybe Tanya does not even want to quest anymore to turn on the Super Goofs. If your only out is a Whole New World, because I don't know if Tanya can race these McDuck Manors, you may not even want to turn anything sideways.
Yeah, unless you're taking out the manners, like Zeus, take it out with Lawrence and something else, maybe. Is that 2 damage on Lawrence? Okay, we're going to play a Rapunzel.
Yeah. Still. I'm worried about Justice just winning next turn.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
I mean, if you don't have the wheel in your hand, you have to set yourself up for hopefully having one more turn to be able to play the wheel the next turn.
Maybe, but maybe you want to get the Singer in play with in the form of Ariel, and then wait a turn to do this, so you don't open yourself up to the Super Goof. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Tani's hand is, but it's a very tricky, risky spot.
Yeah, I mean, if you have one character turn sideways, then at this point you turn all of them sideways, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
there's no harm.
might as well, you know.
Ursula could take 2 super goof hits, so
Yeah. Ursula's a beefy girl.
currently any combination of 2 super goof and or Pirate's Life is going to win the game for Justice on this next turn.
Yes. And I don't know how many super goofs are in the discard.
I believe. Well, there's 4 on the deck. I have no idea how many this card that.
Oh my gosh, there can't be that many cards left right there. Like,
I'm assuming it's less than 7.
Be prep.
There's the Be Prepared.
Okay.
Whole new world off the top. That's kind of what you're
Oh
looking
man,
for.
that's what you need.
And
all right, Tanya.
7 cards in the deck.
Does she have it?
I have no idea how many cards Tanya has in deck.
Come on. I don't even know if she has 7 cards. Either. Oh, that's rough. So rough, guys. A whole new world just wasn't in the cards. Good games. Good games.
Well, it ended up being pretty exciting at the end there.
I was really hoping for the Millen.
Well, all right. So this one goes, I believe, to Justice. I'm pretty sure that Tanya didn't have the wheels, so that Justice ended up taking that game for select few. All right, we're coming over to Discord to talk to our players. All right, Lycos, do you have any questions? Any thoughts about the game?
Yeah. Tanya, what were we looking for the wheel? Or I'm assuming you didn't have the wheel at the end?
I was looking for a Pete, because I had already wheeled 4 times. So
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I was looking for a Pete to like stop like a prep or a Pirate's Life, because I wasn't sure how many I had like discarded at that point, and like we were kind of like coming down to time a little bit. So I was like, oh, maybe I can like find the Pete was two more cards down, and then I would have
Oh,
it was
man.
the prep. Yeah.
I didn't realize you had all 4 in the bin already. I was rooting for let's mill him out. Justice, obviously no offense to you, but I really wanted to see someone get milled out and win.
I was trying. I think I should have waited on my second wheel for like a turn or two, I think, because then I think he would have like dug a little deeper, and that probably would have helped me a little bit. But yeah, I was trying to get rid of the McDuck Manors, and I stormed my Lawrence to try to find the Zeus, and I was like, I know there's one more in here somewhere, and I found it, but then I was like, oh no, like I just played this Ariel, like I can't play the Zeus and the Rapunzel and swing into the McDuck Manor with my Lawrence, so I kind of like outgamed myself a little bit.
You were thinking too far ahead,
I was.
That's funny. Justice, how did the match feel? How were you feeling that last couple turns?
Definitely a tricky one in that game 3, especially as each of those wheels came down. Every time I felt like I was losing really valuable resources. I think it was 2 or 3 of the sharks got wheeled out of the hand without being played, and the 4th one was actually in the deck still. And so that game 3 actually played entirely around the manor. But once we got to that very late part of the game, I saw on my penultimate visions both of my last 2 B preps. So I got to take the one of them and then know that the other one was only like 3 cards down in the deck. So I could have I was holding the how far I'll go, going, okay, I've got 6 cards left there. I'll draw for turn. I know I can play this, get the prep, and then close it out. But the wheels, they give and they take away, right? It really does come down to, do you get fortunate draws off of those and get the Petes or ditch the preps? Or does it sort of swing that other way? And so it came out in favor of the manor.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
manners were clutch, definitely. For
Manners are
sure.
scary. So scary.
Yeah, and a
Steel
lot
Song is
of
a tough one taking home.
yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
Zeus is really good at answering the Shark. And
Mhm.
so I was actually happened to be testing this matchup earlier today and found that just playing the manners early and as fast as you could was the thing that worked best into this deck, right? And the Sharks, nice if you can get them, but if they're just going to be Zeused anyway, maybe make them Zeus the manners first.
Yeah. Because like other than that, we have to strength your Mauis, which is just
Yeah.
hard enough to get like that many cards on the board with the amount of removal that you guys have. So, yeah. I also discarded 2 Zeuses. I think
Yeah, on one of those
wheel.
game 3.
Oh yeah, that was so bad. I was so upset. And I discarded 2 Calhouns, and I was like, these are just cards that are so good into the like these are the only cards I have that like have any
Yeah.
willpower or attack to like get rid of a McDuck banner. I had to send 3 a Smee. What was it? A Smee and 2 Pete's into a McDuck manor. It like feels so bad.
I was quite relieved when I heard the 2 Zeus got
Yeah.
wheeled away. That's big threats removed from this matchup.
It's huge because I mean that's how Seal Song takes out
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah. I also never saw, I think I saw 1 Chenpo. The last one was on the bottom of my deck, and that would have also helped to like take care of manners as well, like not having to expend my Lawrence. But I only played 2, and I inked 1 to like
the first
play
one, yeah.
Naveen. Yeah, so I think I inked it to play Naveen or something to wheel. So it was like that's just kind of like the bad part of about playing 2 ofs in your deck, though. So
Yeah.
For sure. Well, you guys did fantastic. I'm so happy this went to 3 games. You know,
it was a
Tanya,
lot of
you
fun.
almost had that too. It was so close. But Justice, great job on closing that out and, you know, locationing for the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both for playing. It was fun to watch. Just as I was a little worried in the beginning of the game for you when you didn't have turn 2 ramp, but you found double ramp the
Yeah.
next turn.
Yeah, no, that was a lucky save there before I could feel the Shift Queen wheel just bubbling below the surface.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, if you have any shoutouts, last minute, we're gonna get ready for game or match 3.
Shout out to my team, Team Ohana.
Yeah, shout out to
Ooh.
Select Few and shout out to the Dudley Boys, my locals. So
Great job,
Awesome,
guys.
awesome.
Good job. Shout out to
Thank
both teams. You
you.
guys are doing fantastic.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm gonna go eat dinner. Thank you, Lycos, for catching with me. You were wonderful. Thank you to all of our players and both teams that came out tonight. It's been a ton of fun.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I think I'm going to be traded out for the birthday boy and the final casters, both MVPs of the casting of the ICL. So check out Sunflower Lumineers. That's the team I'm part of. So yeah, we'll go from there. But thank you guys so much, and it's been a lot of fun.
I'm still here. Here's my camera. Voila. And once I figure out which one of these cameras was Katie, I need to come up with a better naming system. Oh, it's because I have this off. That's what it is. There you go. Now she's here. I can't hear you, though. Again, we're having this issue. Interesting. Now say something. Nope. All right. I'm going to disconnect you. Come back. An ad is also starting now, so we can get that out of the way. Get the players ready for the last round.
Please don't kick me out again.
Oh, well, I can hear you, so kicking you out apparently was a smart thing to do.
It's my birthday and I can kick anyone off the show I want, but it's me. Hello, Bannable Harka. How are you doing? How is your Chinese food?
Delicious. Delicious. I did tweet a picture of it because I'm vain like that.
You're vain. You're like, I shrimp fried this rice and I want to share it with the community.
I'm not a big shrimp fan.
Okay, well, that's,
I mean, it's okay.
I can throw up a ball and you don't have to hit it. But
I can hit it right down into the ground.
Now I do have a little thing to read here, and I'll just get it out of the way because I don't think people might not realize how much work goes on the backhand. First off, Luke is back there. I don't know what his living room or office or whatever looks like, but I imagine it's just filled with 1,000 buttons. So that's one thing. But the other thing is that, as a reminder to everyone, all ICL matches are overseen and officiated by experienced Disney Lorcana rules experts, and that's to help maintain fair and accurate competitive gameplay. The judges for tonight's match are volunteers provided by the Lorcana Rulebook Hub, which is actually a fan-made Discord community that is dedicated to helping players and aspiring judges understand the rules and policies of Disney Lorcana. But tonight, our stream judge, you know him, you love him, it's Phil. So thank you, Phil. Everybody thank Phil in the chat, and he'll feel it. They did it, I'm assuming. But yeah, so that's just a little fun thing in the background. But yeah, now we're on to game 3. So we're looking at okay, we don't have the score up here, but is it Ohana 1-1 or is it 0-2?
It's 0-2.
0-2, so
has currently won the round, and now they are going for the sweep to try to get those extra juicy points.
See, I think, and this is where I love a plot, because now you might go, oh no, it's over for them. It's not, because the ICL, every win matters, and we're nearing, I think we're halfway through season 1 or round 1 at this point. So at this point, we every win matters. So Lucas he's got a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, it'd be cool to get a sweep. Marcos would love that, but it's not guaranteed. It's not over. We're going into the 3rd game. Now, have you had a chance to look at this deck list or these deck lists?
Nope.
I am excited. It feels vintage. It feels like it's like, oh, like looking at it, there's so many things that have been very like whatever last week was the most successful thing. You look at the deck list, you're like, oh, it's the thing that was successful last week. This one, it's like the classics. And starting off.
For those who don't know, those are $200 sleeves.
That's starting off with a flex. Starting off, he's like, I've got this fancy playmat and $200 Baymax sleeves could only be achieved at Nationals or with money.
Yes, the power of money compels
Yeah, that's the
you.
other way. Did Marcos win them or use cash money? We don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Win's a strong word. They were participation. It was in the goodie bag.
Oh, he won being there, so I consider it fine.
True. That is very fair. I'd say
So-
everyone who got those had to have won something.
Yeah, no one got there by accident. Everyone sat in a room for many hours to get them. All right, so Lucas is playing lots of popsicles. He's getting ready. And Marcos is doing kind of what Ruby Amethyst is known for, where it's just doing those little 1-drops that get some card draw and building up some slow value. So he goes ahead. He keeps that.
Ruby Amethyst, right?
Ruby Amethyst. Is that what who? Marcos?
Yeah, because wasn't that what...
I pulled the wrong deck list. That would totally be me.
They didn't both play... Two players
No,
play the same
no,
one?
there's this Dank Puff. Dank Puff. Dank Puff. Is this a scientific term? But it does appear that he is playing.
Oh, because it was... Never mind. It was Sapphire Ruby last round.
Okay, yeah, you're freaking me out, man.
I'm just wrong.
I was in the kitchen. I was Gordon Ramsay making eggs and ramen. So, okay, good. So, yes, it is Ruby Amethyst.
Should I share that picture with chat?
Yes, to share that the chat needs to know my beautiful bowl of ramen. All right, so he's having a hard cast friends, which never feels so good. But that being said, when you're playing a control deck, sometimes it's what you got to do to get to those spicy endgame cards. Oh wow, you're really showing
That
it.
is
That's what I
absurd.
ate. Yeah, thank
That is
you.
what she made.
Yeah, to be fair, it was like a recipe. Like it wasn't like I was like
Everything's a recipe, girl.
yeah. Yes. Everybody said yay for Phil and yay for me, but mostly yay for Luke because it's his birthday, and also yay for Marcos for having very fancy sleeves and having the courage to play with them.
The courage to play with them.
Now it's interesting that he hard cast the friends, and yet he's still
Immortal.
valuing. I'm interested because like you'd think he'd maybe want to when he played Chernobog, get rid of the broom to then get a card, but maybe he just wants to get that early lore and know that
Yeah,
you
I
know
think so.
investment because Lucas is obviously didn't have any character until Grammatala, but he is
So
ramping to the moon.
Both of his characters get hit by Brawl.
Sorry, I just got overwhelmed by 4 popsicles. I don't think I've ever seen all 4 out at the same time.
Blue Steel
In an ice
players have,
block.
like
Why?
10 and play it all the time.
10. They're like, actually.
Since both characters get hit by Brawl, he's not under pressure to crack the broom. So he can just keep it, right? If he doesn't need the cards, he has ink, he has his next few plays turned out. And there's a world that a fox or something or
A library. One of the more aggressive cards in the game. Now, this being said, I do kind of like the bait here where you put like a little weenie in the library and then banish it because you're getting double value. It's so fun. So we did move the Chernobog, then quested, banish it, got 2 cards off of the trigger from Chernobog and the trigger on the library, which is very cool.
Now, Lucas could Brawl.
He could. Now, would he use it on something like just a little baby broom that ain't gonna hurt nobody? I don't know.
I mean, it's 2 cards.
Yeah, it's interesting. He has 2 cards and no Hiram to feed popsicles to, which is, I'm sure, not where he wants to be right now. Hiram is hungry, but he's not here.
All right, we're taking the hair down. It's one thing I never really understood before I grew my hair out was how your hair can just give you headaches.
Yeah, your hair can hurt. Nobody thinks about that. But he does use a Medusa for a broom, which is a Medusa for a broom is not something. Yeah, it's not her number 1 most targeted thing, but it is in this
with
case.
With the library in play, it's better than a Brawl. That's for dang sure. Like being able to put some pressure on that library is like very needed right now.
Now, Grandma does say, "I don't need books." Deals through the library, so they start whittling away at that, which is.
I don't like them kids reading. Come on, lady, let's take it down.
She's eccentric. She's the village crazy lady. I mean, they call her that because she hates libraries. All right, so we are going in
from Moana. Drop in right now. In right here, Grammatala does not like books.
I mean, Maui does. So there we go. It's Moana synergy here.
The hero of the day, the card drawing Maui.
Now, I always forget that Sapphire, I always see a red card. I'm like, oh, she can get it back. Or, sorry, Lucas can get it back. But Lucas cannot. This is not a bounce deck. So Lady Medusa is not so... Madame Medusa, my goodness. Madame Medusa, not so cool when she's out and there's no bounce. She's a 3/4, quest for 1.
You got thrown off because I called her lady earlier.
Yeah, you're like, she's a lady to me. And there's the Hiram. We finally got there.
Lucas really needed... a Maui there to get this library out of here.
Yeah, because she's not going to be able to get it with just
you're one ice block short, friend. You need one more ice block, and then your Medusa could do it. No, don't do it.
Can you ice block a library?
No, you can't.
Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, we're just trading.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's still...
Why not?
It's fair. It's possible that Lucas could have waited a turn, but this kind of plays around Elsa. Because in Elsa, exerting the Flaversham and then beating down with Maui could be such a blowout that it's probably the right play to trade there.
And
there's the Elsa right there, just showing Lucas, that Lucas knew what he was doing, what he needed to do.
Yeah, that Maui, or knowing that Hiram has access to 5 items right now makes him absolutely target number 1 for Marcus, because as we discussed previously, I think in your first round, Hiram unchecked is a huge problem. But we've got a Diablo in the library, and unless he can rush in a Maui and get rid of that library, then that could be a chance to get some more card draw here for him. But he does seem to have 4 cards in hand currently, or at least 4 or 5.
And he's going to get to draw more. Did he draw for his turn? Did I just like blink and miss that? Or did he forget to draw for his turn?
I think he drew.
I'm assuming he drew. Most people don't forget to draw for their turn.
All right. So he's just going to keep drawing cards. This is the part where Ruby Sapphire is really like, you're like, I get it. Okay. You have a lot of cards, but that's the fun of it. He had 1 card and then he built it all back up slowly.
He needs to Maui this turn.
Yes. That library is going to be.
This library. Like, just questing out and be prepping could be bad. Probably not going to happen. But just committing more characters to the library. We still don't have an answer to it. Okay. That's fair. It's a reasonable character to get rid of. If you're not going to target Diablo.
Okay, so he ice blocked the goat and brawled it. Sorry, I missed that part there. So, okay.
You're like, goat died, or goat was banished, and a brawl was in the yard, and I don't know how it happened.
I know, why would this happen to this beautiful goat? But then I forgot. Ice block. He
got cold.
He still has... So he still has a library. Grandma's back and ready to take it down. Now it's 2 libraries. Fantastic. And a rabbit. So both of them are eagerly eating up as many cards as possible each turn. So we do see Lucas obviously is slowly working through his arsenal of popsicles. Grandma's going to sing How Far I'll Go. So he's still digging through, looking for the cards he wants here. Now, what cards do you think at this point he is really hoping to get to stop the momentum of 2 Maui is probably, well, yeah, I would think of Maui, something to just start wailing away at these libraries. But what do you think Lucas is looking for most of all right now?
I don't know. I was busy being told that I had the wrong names up and I was fixing them.
Cool. I think he wants I would want a Maui right now. Maui time would be a great time.
Oh, I blinked and another library came in.
Yeah, that's what I said. So that's why I was saying, like, Lucas is looking for stuff, and at this point, there's 2 libraries and 4
healthy library and play a Maui.
That's true. Hideaway is a card I always forget because it's not always there. And
I mean, that's a card, but like, be prepared is also a card.
Yeah, and in that case, he got to draw off of the library for the Diablo. And then also another card.
Most likely game over if there's a B prep played. Most likely.
It would be hard to come back. I don't know how many cards Lucas has in hand, though.
Not as many as Marcos.
Okay, that's true. I just know that Hiram just ate 6 lollipops. 6 ice.
He's a hungry boy.
His tummy hurt really bad. All right, be prepared. You knew it. You called it. And in that case, I mean, yeah, Mark. Is that Lorcana villain? He's sleeping. He couldn't do that right now. That's Luke.
I was drinking tea earlier. That had to be.
That's true. You're drinking tea, and you're like, that's how you turn into Lorcana villain. So people are saying that's game, and you know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Flaversham into Maui is one way to say that is not game, young man. The game has just started.
When Maui's here, libraries everywhere are shaking in their boots.
Another B prep though would be pretty dang good.
It would.
But also not nearly as impactful. I mean, what Marcos did wrong here was he didn't do the signature ed. He was supposed to go library, library, library.
Yes. And he also can't do the ed stare down. That's something that we forget about, that does help.
Yeah, without face cams, they can't give it to each other.
No. perhaps they could send pictures of Ed to each other. And there's a Flynn, which is not super helpful at this phase of the game, but he will send Maui to the library and then trade. Wow.
I hope
All right.
whenever they
I
make
like
a
it.
Lorcana digital client and they add emotes, one of them is just Ed doing the stare down.
Which is so crazy because he's so nice. And like, I can't imagine making that face in any other scenario. And yet when he's playing and he's like, I'm just looking. And I'm like, well, you have resting intense face.
He needs stickers of it. Like, he needs to have an artist friend draw up like a little emoji face of him doing that. It would be perfect for whatever like Twitches and Discords, and then just as a great sticker.
My God, it's just
Ooh.
Maui, 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 Maui. It's
Dude,
too
I
many.
would put that sticker on my deck box and just like put that on the table, like turn it to him when I'm intensely staring.
If you don't have that, the other most intimidating thing is to play your third and fourth Maui, which Lucas has finally done. Now,
The
can you
Maui's
quest?
started doing
Can you
stuff.
can you quest with Maui? No, but you can intimidate libraries everywhere.
That's a little late.
Be prepared, which is Maui's greatest fear, and it's rough too because for a while he had six.
Is that really Maui's greatest fear?
Well, to be wiped off the face. See, this Tamato is sad because at one point he had a total of 6 items on board. Now he's at 2.
Is the Diablo a mandatory trigger?
When he's banished, you draw a card. I think it's mandatory. I had one on my desk, but I don't anymore. It's downstairs now.
Well, I'm sure.
Did he not draw a card?
I'm sure Judge Phil will ask them if he did.
Phil. I'm thinking Bill Nye, the science guy. This is Phil Judge, the rules guy.
It's a May, so it
All
can
right.
be missed.
All right. All right. So
I'm
there's
assuming it's a May. You were looking at it. Did it say May?
RJ Portal. The Portal RJ says it's a May.
Oh,
I trust
thought
him.
you were like literally looking at the card
Nope.
right now.
I just trust him. I don't think RJ would lie to me.
Phil's
Now,
like,
Mount.
I already know. I
I know
already
it.
knew. It was a May.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
smarter than the rest of you, and that's why
Madame
he's a
Medusa
judge.
comes in for the Hiram, which honestly, a Hiram and a Tamatoa together is not like the greatest power couple. They're both kind of fighting
think
each
it's a-
other.
I think it's a pretty
Well-
good power couple. Tamatoa goes out and he finds a little shiny,
That's
brings
true.
it back to his husband.
not a questing
Flaversham,
power
and then Flaversham throws it away, and
Yeah,
Flaversham has a gambling problem and sells it for 2 cards.
No, he eats it. He has that. He eat whatever that item is. He's eating it.
Oh,
be
he has
it
an
a,
eating problem.
yeah.
He
But
has a really good
Tamatoa,
metabolism for how many popsicles he's eating. He has a
Tamatoa
good
here.
figure.
he's making a lot of toys. So Tamatoa
He's a
still
pet-
quests for
he's a
3
petite
here.
little mouse.
And we get another popsicle. He's gonna pop that popsicle, as the kids say.
Look at
And
the indents on the back of that card in the inkwell.
sometimes that's probably like from the day he's like, maybe I can do a riffle shuffle, and then he's like, never again.
And that does happen. Like,
All right, so little Sisu comes in and says, "Get out of here, rabbit." He gets to draw another card. Marcos is having a feast of
just
oh,
hope
let it go. Now that's
Marcos doesn't
something.
get those indents on his sleeves.
Let it go in this economy is very interesting. You don't see it all the time. You see it in Blurple, but
It sees a little bit more place. I'm pretty sure that Fam played 2 in his list. Because of Maui Shark, it sees more play again.
yeah, there's been people are noticing. Is he missing draws over there? Did he draw off the rabbit? Did he miss the Diablo one? Someone said he missed a second draw. And that is you don't want to ever miss a draw, especially maybe he was so excited that he had to be prepared. He's like,
He's like, I got this.
I can't think of anything other than wiping this board right now.
That's 3 B preps though, and I think
Yeah.
that's only 1 crab. So that's terrifying for Marcos. He needs to now put pressure on, but Lucas has only gone through 1-ish that we're aware of. Sisu that I can think of, maybe 2, and I haven't seen any B preps. You better have some Tremaines on deck. That's very true, Portal. RJ knows what's what. He's played a lot of red purple, or as the cool kids call it, ruby amethyst.
Those cool kids. All right, little baby Sisu says, "Get out of here, Flynn. I don't like daring visitor. That's of all the Sisus. Weirdly, she's my least favorite. I don't like that she looks like she's coming for my food. Oh, and then she gets brawled because guess what? Marcos doesn't like her either.
And that's a diamond play.
It is.
think-
There's a
This
The
is
momentum isn't
looking
over.
real scary for Marcos.
The good news is they can play literally any card they pull because they both have so much ink. Okay.
There's
Automatoa,
Tommy for
that's
a
a rough.
casual 5/6 lore gain.
Yeah.
Depending on if Lucas is going to ink. I can't tell if that's 3 or 2 ink open. It looks like 2, and that's a dragon in Lucas's hand that he is just ever so
Sitting
casually
on.
showing the camera.
Oh boy. That's my response. Oh boy. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get a nice go up to 12. Yeah. Wow. So he basically has to
Katie
get this Tomatoa.
with IE is hilarious.
Katie with
I don't know
IE. Is there
I don't know
another?
what IE
Is there a Katie with like a Y that you have a problem with? You're like, Katie with a Y? I hate her. She's not funny. Don't like her. Now he's hard cast. Wow. He says, I'm getting that last beat. And
Well,
honestly,
that's the last one.
Yeah, and let me see. He does run a Tremaine, so that would have obviously been
Just
a little bit
one?
better. Oh no, he has 2, but he does have her around.
See, you gotta channel your inner Ed and play all of them.
I do want to know who the Katie this person has beef with, but that's not important. We'll get back to that. And there's a dragon for that Flynn. Flynn is not going to get to ever get that 3 lore, especially not with a dragon around. But a Lady Tremaine would be clutch now. But
A
that's
Tremaine
not
would
what he
be
has.
alright. Well, that's not a Lady Tremaine yet.
Yet.
Oh, this is where we're at. This is not great.
You're like, oh, when you see this, this is just, I want 2 guys on the board.
I mean, there's a lot of things you could be snaking that are better than Sisu. Most
Yeah,
of
'cause
them
he's about
are
to go
things
up
that have
to-
come into play effects.
18, and then he just saw Pirate's Life to intimidate him or something?
No, he's showing lethal quest pirate.
Oh, got it. He's showing like, I've so much pain in my hand. There's so many ways I can make your life bad from this. Wow. So, I mean, that was a really great showing by Lucas. It's really like, the momentum was pretty rough, and then he kept getting cards and shows that, yeah, once that Hiram starts eating, sometimes he eats really good.
I think most of his Flavershams drew 2 to 4 cards.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't-
all of them drew at least 2, and then required answers back. Yeah, there was. I think maybe had Marcos had the B prep a turn sooner, but Lucas still had another Maui, so he still could have at least put 6 on the castle, leaving it pretty easily to be cleaned up by anything. And then that would require Marcos to then have another answer for Lucas's Maui, right? And you don't really necessarily want to Maui a Maui. I mean, you do it.
Yeah.
I guess then you have the library, so you get a cycle on it, so that's not actually that bad. But
Yeah,
you
he
have
did
it.
that. And it's rough. Like somebody said, he was very liberal with his B preps. Like if he would have sat on an extra turn, could he gotten more values out of that total board wipe? We'll never know. Luke is gone because sometimes it's hard to think about those things, the what ifs.
if I can't think of it, I'm just gonna walk away.
Yeah, right. You know, but that was a good game. These games, Ruby mirror matches are not my favorite to be in, but they're fun to watch because it's kind of like it really who's going to get who the heavier cards later in the game. It feels like is the most important, and having Hiram, which here at ICL, it's the birthday boy's birthday, and he actually for the rest of the game it's banned. So please, Lucas, take those Hirams out of your deck. That is actually what he wanted for his birthday. So
No, I want it nerfed. He only gets to draw 1 off.
Oh.
of it.
okay, it's nerfed. The mouse can live, however, he is not powerful. Does anyone else have beef with Hiram, or is it specifically Luke?
Just me.
Okay. And honestly, I have beef with all of Sapphire, so it's good to have targeted beef. Otherwise, I just seem like I just don't know how to ink twice in a turn, and that's true. I don't.
Everyone hates on poor little Bucky and Diablo. I mean, what did
Bucky
they
didn't-
do?
yeah.
They just took
I
your
mean,
hand
it's
away.
the thing that's not fair is that, like, if anything, Bucky was set up by Diablo because Bucky, nobody cared about him, and then Diablo showed up, and they're like, "We gotta get rid of Bucky," and that's so not fair to that little guy.
Nobody cared about me till I put on the squirrel mask.
Until I jumped on that bird's back and flew around. Speaking of bird, we got a Diablo. I love that Diablo. He's so cool. I love that you could even blow him up yourself and have him turn into a card. But in this case, he's just going to quest. He's just going to have a nice time questing.
Bucky died for Diablo's sins.
Yes, and that is why there's a religion. I'm just kidding. He is going to ink and play nothing? Wow. No turn 2. No 1-drop, no 2-drop. That's
I mean, is developing a snake here worth it?
well, I would like to have another. I mean, I'd like to play 2 more 1-drops, but that's just how I like to play. It's just go as wide as possible against Ruby Sapphire. And 1 is considered the second most narrow board.
BB. Elias knows what's what.
Bucky died for a new shift mechanic. Yeah, well. Did he just wow. Okay, so this is bad, right? Like, this isn't like me being naive. Going to turn not playing a card since Diablo is against a deck where you're trying to get as much value in as early as possible.
Yeah, I feel like Ohana paid Select Few to throw this game.
And that makes sense because no, I'm just kidding. I'm interested to see. I mean, he's probably got some. I mean, he just inked a Maui's, so my goodness, this poor guy. He had a select few cards in his hand, one might say. All right, so he gets a rabbit out. So hopefully the next turns are just all gas, no brakes, because it was only brakes for 2 turns. But yeah, as Lycos pointed out, this is not plan A. This is not plan A for his deck. Now, he did ink. That is something. It'd be terrible to ink, not be able to ink, and not have cards. So, I mean, it's the second worst thing to happen.
Maybe Baymax's armor is made out of lead, and it's poisoning Marcos as he's playing, and it's poisoning his draws, so he's just not drawing 2s and 3s.
Now, I mean, I guess if you look at his deck, though, he has a total of...
She's just ignoring that.
Yeah. Well, because I'm doing math, and I can't talk while doing... So he only has 10 1-drops and 7 2-drops. So, I mean, his deck is really, really light on the little babies. So, I guess now we're seeing the downside of running scant little babies. Scant little babies? I don't like that. I take it back. All right. But it's still not, I mean, he's still up 5, and he still has the same arsenal of tools of pain, that Lucas has. So I won't say it's over. It's not over until Hiram comes out, which will be this turn.
And, like, seeing how far I'll go? Maybe. Oh.
No, it's Chee-hoo, as they say. All right, Grandma's going to sing. Yeah. I'm the village crazy lady. I have beef with Grandma Tala, and that's not fair.
Why do you have beef with her?
I think because I pulled her as an enchanted, and there's so many pretty enchanteds, and then you can get like an elderly woman as an enchanted, and I'm like, oh.
Very ageist of you.
Yeah. All right, so he is gonna go ahead. We're finally at 6 ink, so now he's getting to the point where he can do some menacing things. Not a lot of menacing things he can do with 2 rabbits and a Diablo that swings for 0. So, for example, an Elsa right now would not be able to get rid of. Well, no, that Maui is sitting pretty. Well, no, he could. If he played an Elsa, he could in theory, but instead, no, he gets rid of Grandma and draws 2 cards.
Ooh,
okay, that's great. He put the brakes on, and that's exactly what he wanted to do against the Maui shark, who's hungry, especially for little birds.
Amount of lore. I mean, it's not a lot, but it could be higher. But it's better than 1.
Yeah, and how many cards? I mean, he's popping the popsicle to just draw a card. Or no, that's not how it works. I don't know what he did with that popsicle. All right, so now he got the popsicle back with Tamatoa. Now, if he could bounce that lady, no, he doesn't have enough ink to bounce a Lady Tremaine, I don't think, but that would be so cool. Yeah, Marcos managed to skip 2 turns and still feel pretty okay.
He needs to shift Lady Tremaine
Into
west and grab it and bounce it back to his hand.
Shift Lady Tremaine. And is she
She
you
has
can
shift 4. Did you not know that?
Yeah, I guess I forgot that. I don't even think about baby Lady Tremaine. I've never seen it happen, so that's what's going on there. Is
Do you not remember just getting dominated in set like 2 or 3 by Ruby Amethyst playing 4 Tremaines and just going like Tremaine, shift Tremaine, bounce it, replay Tremaine.
I mean, I think it's because the brain blocks out traumatic memories. So I think that's what's going on here. Is I was a Steel Song fan and Lady Tremaine was a Steel Song opposite fan. Now, is he going to do it? Is he going to do the thing you just threatened? No, he's going to quest here and all right. And then is he going to do? He's got 4 ink available. All right, he's just saving it for a rainy day. He's not too afraid right now of letting that. Which, I mean, he's setting up a nice board state, assuming that Lucas doesn't call his bluff and do some kind of be prepared, which with the Tamatoa on the board, I'd be reluctant to. And he technically, he could big Sisu.
He could sing it and then play a new thing, but that seems mid.
I always think based sounds bad, but based is good, which is so weird. Anyway, Hiram,
I think based could be both, honestly.
Depending on the tone.
It could be like, that's a bad opinion, but like based, I don't know. Slang eludes me.
Now, people who are watching, we are both old people. So, sorry. This has happened to you one day.
Yeah, this is my 40th birthday.
Are you serious? Yikes. I'm just kidding. Congratulations.
I mean, I was saying earlier, I feel like I'm like 25.
Well, yeah, because there's never a day where you're like, yeah, I feel like an adult. Like, I keep waiting for that day, and it just doesn't happen. It hasn't, and it's haunting.
As a child, I feel all the neurotypical adults were always like, you'll be an adult too one day. You'll know what I mean. It's like,
I think they were born. They were just born, like, used
adults.
up. Yeah. So, Pirate's Life.
Used up?
Yeah. All right. So, we got here a Lady Tremaine coming.
Baby. Yeah.
Coming for that magic broom, saying, you're not going to get any card draw for that broom. Not on my watch. Now, he does have, it looks like 3 cards. Either 2 or 3. I can't tell because the select few is not. Oh, what was that? Oh, he's not done. He was just drawing a card off of that. I don't know what's happening. Oh, he didn't pass the little green thing. I think. Okay, yeah, he just didn't
quested with Tamatoa returning a popsicle from his discard to his hand.
Got it. Sorry. Watching Marcos play while that was happening scared me. All right, but he does get to draw off of that Diabler.
It's your turn.
And he's going to ink a brawl.
It's
too late. Oh, yeah. Be prepared.
There we
You're
go.
Welcome. Does he have any cards in hand? Yes, they were just over there. He has this secret little, a secret corner that can only be accessed using
Max Riz, no cap.
I keep trying to look around it, which, like, how does that? That's not how any of this works.
So I don't like. I should say I don't like it. I'm kind of like Riz is kind of mid to me, but
Skibbity Toilet Riz.
I definitely don't like Skibbity.
Does anyone like Skibbity Toilet? Like, I don't think even the kids
Rizzler,
do.
I think is the funniest name or like thing ever. I like that. I don't like any of the other things, but the terminology Rizzler is just too good for me.
My God, watching Lucas do all this, I'm like, first off, yikes! Oh my, what's happening? But you
just play card, draw card, play card, draw.
Yeah, card. It is wild. So anyway, how do you feel about the term "sticking out your gap" for the Rizzler? You're so Skibbity. You're so Phantom Tax.
You're so Phantom Tax? I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
Oh, Phantom Grandma's tax? Gone. I don't know. I think I chat.
Grandma's a Phantom now. Medusa, right. Phantomine.
So Lucas has 5 cards in hand. Marcos
is to say that?
What?
Is becoming banished? Is that Phantomine them? They're not. She's not being murked or destroyed or killed. She's being banished. If you're banished, is that like becoming a phantom? Maybe can we use that slang?
Sure. It's your show. It's your channel. Big Dime Tea gonna be rough. Yeah, that is a good point. This is a time where Tamatoa. Now, does he have a dime? It doesn't look like he does. Is that a dime there? I can't tell what
Oh,
that.
Tommy.
No, that's a Vitasphere. Oh my god. So right now he has 4, 5, 6, 7 items. So he quests for 8 if he lives. And he does not, because that's a lady in Tremaine. Ugh. You
We're
hate
gonna
to
have
see
to
it.
bounce that Lady Tremaine. Right.
Yeah, she's very important right now. But instead,
we have to ink at least. We have to ink and move Lady to the library, please.
he only has 2 cards, and he
They
seems
better
that
be
he's
good.
like he's auditing. He's
They're probably
in.
uninkable rabbits.
All right,
or
so we got to
Mortemains.
hide away to get rid of that library because we cannot let that stand
Blader.
in this economy. Oh, so Big Sisu, that lady didn't get to live, and that's so sad.
Oh, was that the same Lady Tremaine as before?
I don't think so, because I don't think he.
Lucas played the Thomas into the known lady. That's an interesting line.
All right, so he's just gonna quest, and then is he gonna be prepared? He wouldn't.
He wouldn't dare.
I mean, that's like it's so hard. I always like be prepared for one. Feels like, man, I bet you wish I was a Dragonfire, but no, it's another.
There
Tremaine!
she is.
She's a beautiful, angry lady in red who has beef with a child. It's Lady Tremaine.
Wait, I must have blinked. Did library get hidden away?
Yeah, he played Hideaway in library. He said
Brutal.
it is. But speaking of brutal, Lucas is getting trampled by an elderly lady with a
Wait.
cat.
Wait. Did he play a foil Lady Tremaine and then played a non-foil one later?
Well, you gotta keep him. You never let him know.
No,
your
you
next
gotta. You have to make sure that it's the same with foreign cards. Which, like, if you play it and then you bounce it, you have to play the same one you bounced.
Why?
So Lucas.
Oh, so
might
they
have
don't
known
know.
There was another
Yeah.
Lady Tremaine because he
Got
played
it.
the wrong one.
See, this is why I'm not a pro gamer, because I'm like, huh? But
So it
yeah.
might be against the rules because you're not allowed to note take.
Oh, well, you're allowed to have a
ask
memory.
a judge before you do what I'm about to say. In Magic, after someone would look at my hand with a card that let them see my hand, I would turn those cards upside down. And then when I drew normal cards, they'd be upside. And then that way I knew exactly which cards that were in my hand my opponent has seen and is aware of. But
That'd
you
be
might
crazy
not be
if
able to
someone
do
considered
that
that.
in Lorcana because that could be considered note-taking.
I'd be considered on Phil's take on that, because that'd be so weird if like how I hold my hand is like, oh, that's a note. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, chat says it's note-taking, so don't do that.
What?
Unless you're playing Magic the Gathering, then do it.
Okay, well, chat.
But
Is
not
Bleeder
Lorcana.
Magic? Does Bleeder Magic outrain Phil?
I actually kind of hope they change the rules eventually and allow note-taking.
I don't, because I could not. If I had to watch somebody play Lucas's deck and they're taking notes, I would actually have to scoop. My ADHD could never. I'd be like, "What are you writing? We don't have time."
They should just give slow play warnings to people who write down every card.
That's true.
If you write down every card, all right. First of all, writing down every card your opponent inks shouldn't take time because it's your opponent's turn.
That's true.
You shouldn't be writing down every card you inked on your turn. Wait till the end of the turn, put those cards face down, and write them on your opponent's turn.
So you're gonna
There's
be prepared.
ways to do it. If you do it in a manner that delays the game, which is why I think some people thought they had no note taking, was so the gameplay wasn't slow.
I feel like
most of it can be done on your opponent's turn. Lady or Medusa get bounced. It's not a Lady Tremaine, but it's
a Medusa. So Hiram says, "I'm in danger."
Hiram said that from the discard pile.
Yeah. All right. So, this is very interesting. This is like the pain and glory of 2 control decks. Is it's basically 2 people going, "Nuh-uh, no, nuh-uh," and it's like it's good because like, wow, look at all this, but also it's kind of like, okay, one of you guys needs to probably stop doing control, but they can't. That's what the deck is for. Grandma.
So chat is saying that they wish people would always keep the cards they inked up till end of turn. I personally will just always ask them at the end of their turn. Is like, what did you? If I don't remember, I'll be like,
Yeah.
what did you ink this turn? I've never had someone not just flip over the card they inked that turn to show me. I don't actually know the rules on that. I'm sure the judge will yell at me later for it. But I personally try to keep it face up. But sometimes I turn it face down because I'm a wild card.
Oh, Maui Shark's back. All right, so we're sitting
Maui
here.
Shark.
Uh oh, he's questing. That's so scary when you pass your turn and they're like, "I'm gonna quest real quick. No big deal. Don't worry about it."
No, just gonna exert
Just-
7 ink here.
Yeah, I'm just questing and exerting 7 ink. He's already okay. Just real casual stuff, and then he's gonna play a baby Sisu, which is fine. It is something he can play and could be shiftable. Now, will shifting against whatever Lucas has matter? No,
Dragon.
it is Mal Dragon. You know her, you love her, and the 400th Hiram.
Flaversham. Flaversham!
That's why they say flav him if you got him. They don't say that. All right, so he's still got 4 cards in hand. Marcus has some cards, a non-zero amount of cards. Now, we do know he has access to things like goats. But he's not doing that. He's playing an Elsa. So
Let's get that. Oh, we're not even taking him out? Oh, that's sad.
that's interesting. I mean,
Why didn't we... Is there a reason not to challenge the Flaversham for 2?
I don't know, to just start working on him, because I mean, maybe he really wants to,
Probably
because I
doesn't
mean,
matter at all.
he wants to call his bluff that he doesn't have a be prepared, and then he can quest for 3, and he's like, I won't do anything to put my babies in danger.
Hideaways? There's more than one hideaway? Oh.
There
Maybe it's
are,
multiple games.
there's only one hideaway in his deck. Oh, sorry, spoiler. It's not spoilers. It'd be like saying like, oh, Tom Brady's on this team. We weren't telling you.
It's kind of spoilers, but
All right.
we do try not to say the numbers. Of
Oh,
cards in
so we
their
can say
hand.
the cards. Okay. So, that he
someone's
actually
not, like-
he has somewhere between 1 and 4.
Well, there's a pirate's life.
So that's rough, because I think Marcus was going, if I could just quest for 3, that'd be really nice. And now he has to quest for 3 plus 2 more. Which, if he has a Sisu shift, that could make it a Sisu shift and a goat. That could be nice.
Just a shift goat away, or 2 goats, goat bounce.
We're always 2 goats away. But he's not done yet. Lucas is still looking at his cards and thinking what other pain he can inflict upon.
Second
Marcus's
pirate's
board.
life.
I don't know. He puts the cards down. He
Be
picks it
prep?
back up.
There's no way be prep, right? Maybe.
It'd be a pretty
It would
sweaty
be
thing to do.
crazy.
I mean, yeah, because I guess he's wondering if he had be prep, if he waits 1 turn, there's a chance that Lucas, he'd be betting that Marcus has like
Sisu?
exactly the cards he needs.
Is he counting cards in hand to be like, can I play Sisu and get both?
Or is he lowering his amount of... Oh, okay. So he gets rid of Elsa with a Madame Medusa. And... Oh, wow. And he doesn't... So he was basically dumping his hand to make it where that Sisu is a...
Nope.
Oh, no. She lives. Okay. He couldn't empty it enough. So that Sisu's still a 3/4. Wow. Okay. I don't know. Be prepared. I don't know. I'm so
I
scared.
think Lucas is just trying to... Oh, there's the goat!
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if there's a Sisu in Lucas's hand or the top 3-ish cards of his deck...
So what's going on here? What is he doing here? What is this? Is this his discard?
Dime.
Or is he
was
just saying, should I scoop?
Dime was enough.
Oh, wow. That's
All
rough.
right.
They were having a conversation and then...
unmute yourself in
Oh, yes.
Discord. Well done. You kind of worked, did some good there. Bleh. You worked your way out of a hard situation, is what I was trying to say. Yep.
But yeah, Fire Slice busted.
Now,
it's
are both-
kinda- Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. You can finish your thought there.
Yo,
I was just
guys, the
saying-
stream can't hear you. Just so you know.
I think,
Good look out, though.
I think when I swung into his Tala into the Tremaine, I think that was kind of a mistake, but I still think clearing his board and killing the Maui Shark was more impactful than just sitting there a whole turn, just leaving my rabbits and not doing anything. But I did end up losing my draw card, so I had no way of drawing into anything in the late game. So
Yeah, killing the shark was pretty good. I kind of was trying to set up, but like if you did prep that turn, I always tried to keep the backup plan of Toa.
Yeah, the Tamatoa is always like this eminent threat, especially the Tamatoa with the dime, and you had a truly resplendent amount of items.
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, I've never seen 4 popsicles out at a time, and you did it twice, which I thought
I
was
was gonna
very.
say I don't think I've ever done it twice in a row.
Yeah.
So
Now, are both of these your? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Luke.
Well, I was just gonna say, Marcos, did you realize that you played the foil Tremaine, and then when you played it again, you played the unfoil?
No, I did not.
And
That's
Lucas,
crazy.
did
I never
you
noticed
notice
that. No.
Oh,
See, that's
got
good.
away with it.
It's good that there's people like me
Crazy.
around that just don't pay attention to that kind of thing.
I knew he held the one Tremaine in his hand the entire time, and then the second one came down. I was like, okay, he's probably just bounce looping it. I did not realize one was foil, one was non-foil.
Yeah, I mean, now are both of these
Someone
your
in chat
primary
noticed,
decks?
as did
This is currently what I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, this is the deck I've been playing like mostly in terms of like competitively. Pretty sure this is the exact list I played at Continentals actually.
And that,
So,
yeah, and it's interesting. Your guys' deck, I like that you're not bending to the trends. They're very like a classic list. I was like, wow, these are refined classic lists.
Ironically, the 4 Tremaines probably would have helped me in this matchup.
yeah, for sure, 4 Tremaine would have been good.
That's a good, Tremaine is very fun in the end game.
I've never had success with Ruby Amethyst. Ironically, every time I've done well or decent in Lurkana, it's been Amber Steel. So I don't know why I like this deck a lot. I just don't know why I shifted completely from Amber Steel to Ruby Amethyst because they're completely different decks.
Yeah, finding this like my worst matchup too. I've just tested it so much with red blue against red purple. It's kind of like you kind of start to figure things out, but it's so hard to win still.
Yeah, plus I understand if your main deck is Amber Steel, I would definitely... I understand switching to an archetype that beats up on Ruby Sapphire traditionally, because you can only lose to Sisu so much before you're like, fine, I'm going to play a deck that doesn't care about Sisu.
Yeah.
I will say I was very impressed that you weren't able to play anything for 2 turns and still held your own pretty solid
that
in
was
that game.
wild.
Watching, because that hurts that you played a Diablo and were like, and now I'll wait till turn 4, and So
I was expecting Flynn, and nothing happened. I was like, okay, I can get behind this.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm only
so,
getting 5 cards, and I didn't have a single 2-drop or 3-drop in my cards that I put back, so I don't really know what happened there.
yeah. So that was hard to watch, but also you gave me hope. I was like, wait, he's doing it. But then once again, Sapphire.
The libraries are tough too. That
And
was
then in
like,
game 1, I was convinced I was not playing Brawl. I almost had to like double check
not-
my deck to make sure I had Brawl, because he drew like 12 cards off this Haram, and I was like, am I not gonna draw a single Brawl? I play 4 of
yeah,
them.
you never killed Hiram, and I was like, this is the longest I think I've ever seen a Hiram stick before.
He was eating very well.
Yes, he
Very,
was.
very well.
I'm sure he got
Okay.
plenty of cavities from all those popsicles he was eating.
I was gonna say
Good.
4 popsicles messed
And
him
then
up.
4 popsicles both games. Yeah, it's kind of. I was like, you have too much draw.
Yeah, I was just trying to get to dime the entire time.
Hopefully, I didn't call Hiram Haram. I think someone in the chat. I was like, but
I don't know.
Haram Hiram. Yeah, but either way, that was very impressive. Knowing that, yeah, you definitely had a lot going against you. But congrats, Lucas. You brought home. A
Thank
win
you,
for
thank
Team
you.
Ohana.
Yeah.
So,
And that's really important.
At least
You
we
need
didn't
to get
get
every
through.
point you can. Gotta
Yeah.
prevent the select few from nabbing that precious 3-0. And
Yeah.
since my
Couldn't
team
let
is
you,
in the
man.
same bracket as your teams, I definitely have to say good. No one else needs to get sweeps except for Labyrinth.
you got
not
us. Wait,
biased.
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, there's no bias here.
You.
Good games, man. Very good games.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, great game. It was fun.
It was a great showing. Any shout outs either of you want to give out?
I don't really have any shoutouts.
Shout out to Team Ohana, I guess. That's the repping them.
Yeah, you guys have great stickers. I have a sticker of yours in next to my desk. So,
Wow.
I got
I
one.
feel
And
so proud.
you guys let me pick. You said which one, and I picked the cutest one. So whatever that one is, that's the one I picked.
That's probably a good idea.
So great matchup, wonderful as always. So thank you, and I can't wait to see round 2. And now there's gonna be beef.
For sure.
It's too good. All right. You two have a great night.
You too. You guys have a good
man.
one.
Thank you.
All right.
What is your big plan now? Is it your birthday, or are you gonna go eat an entire cake?
Okay, I think that's
Oh.
wrapping it up.
Whoopsie daisy.
If Katie wants to shout out her show, her casual YouTube
Ugh.
show.
This guy, he's like, I think
Hold on,
women have
why
good
can't I hear? Oh, I think they can hear you. I can't hear you. Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can hear you.
You
now.
can hear me
I
now?
can hear you.
Yeah, Luke, I was say nice things. I was like, oh, it's your birthday. Are you gonna eat cake? And you're like, she's a filthy casual. So I'm like, all right, take back everything nice I've ever said. But anyway, I would like to point out I did beat Luke in one game. He said he's like, we can play until you beat me, but that means we'd
won
have
the
to play a
first
long
game.
time. And so I won once, and so my honor has been restored. But
I mean,
But yeah,
playing blue steel, sapphire steel. Of course, I'm gonna lose. That deck's terrible.
What?
Terrible.
what type was that? Was that your own, or was it the kiwi bird?
I named the deck Cursed because it was not a good list. I was just like,
All right.
okay, here we go. Let's do all the turn 2 ramp. Let's do Fishbone. Whole New World maxed out. Dock maxed out. We're emptying our hand as fast as we can and we're redrawing. And theoretically, it did that. The problem is when you play Dock with no cards in hand and draw Tipo Sail, you're like, this was not a good thing to do. Whoops.
Well, I thought it was a really hard deck, and I feel proud of myself for beating it. So I won't take that. But anyway, if you want to find me, you can find me on the Lore Keepers Inn. I like to do whatever content I feel like that week. And this week it was a scavenger hunt. But wish me luck. Tomorrow is my first set champs. Finally, after 3 weekends, it's my turn to do a set champ. So everybody send me the vibes of the universe, even though I'm playing a deck that seems to be cursed. It's not as cursed as whatever you just described, but I'm scared. But that's where you can find me. Thanks for having me. And then, yeah, Luke, are you going to go eat 1,000 cakes?
No, I'm not having any cake today.
All right. Have a good night. And that's the show.
I haven't rated yet. We're gonna raid another channel. My son's birthday was yesterday. I had some cake
What?
yesterday, and then we're having a party for him this weekend, so I'm having more cake then.
I wouldn't
we're just
allow
gonna have to
that.
wait.
I would tell my son, "Hey, wait, you have to have your birthday after me." So you
His due date was my birthday, so I'm just
Okay.
happy it was on a
That's
different day.
true. Yeah, okay, it's fine. It's just like feels kind of like he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
We're
my birth-"
going to raid a set champs. Apparently, there's.
Yes.
I don't know how there's a set champs.
Yeah, you
going
can't have them
it.
on Fridays, but that's okay. We won't narc on you. You do you.
We won't narc on you, except for we're gonna send 60 people to go watch you right now.
Yeah, we won't, but I can't speak for these guys.
You all have a great night. I'll talk to you later.